The platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, the second to last Monday night of August for 2026, and we zero in on one of the more recent venues to join the fold in the Formula One World Championship, of course, Circuit of the Americas, although I say recent, and it was 14 years ago that this circuit first burst onto the championship calendar and onto the world stage. This year, of course, it'll host both the World Endurance Championship and Formula One in the space of the next 3 months, having also hosted MotoGP and NASCAR earlier in the season. Hello, everybody. I'm Zach Caven alongside Adam Lavis. Josh Shuno is here as well. Welcome to Monday Night Motorsport on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club across Facebook and YouTube. Very tight for time off the top tonight. Cars lining up on the grid. 5.41 kilometres around this circuit. We are sitting at 1:43 local server time in the afternoon, daylight time, of course. They are in summer in that part of the world at the moment. 22 kilometres an hour. The wind speed, which is heavy, and it's in a south to southwesterly direction. 30 degrees the ambient, 51 on track, 44% humidity, but dry conditions so far. For the last sprint round of this series, and it's a tantalising affair. Delicately poised after the last couple of rounds and the drop rounds coming into the equation last week. Have a look at that. 22 points covers the top four. Alex Tzidikis, Johnny Bannock, and also Luke Brooker, Cameron Dance. 463 plays, 447, 445 and 441. Adam Funslow only a heartbeat away on 426 Guy Leach 406, Thomas Sinner 404, Doug Gowans 399, David Baz 372, and Martin Davis, I should say. My apologies. Sitting up there on 345, position 10 on the points table at the moment, 345 points. Grid for the first of two for the night, 10-minute sprint race. Then, of course, we get stuck into the 15-minute invert top 10 affair. Johnny Bannock, Alex Suzuka's front row, Luke Brooker, Mitch Noble second row, Trent Allen and Adam Fanslow third row, Thomas Sinner, Cameron Dance fourth row, Doug Gowans, Martin Davis from 5. Much the same as far as the top 10 of the championship's concerned. Most of those guys feature in it. Maverick Benton, David Baz, John Baldwin, Jacob McIntyre, Kevin Wakefield, Ash Williams, Liam Amos and Kevin Bennett make up the field. No time to muck around here. Lights ablaze. They ignite. We go racing at Kota. Watch the start from Doug Gowans. He's been swamped to the outside was Martin Davis, to the inside was David Baz. They make it to the corner. Can they all get through cleanly? So far, yes. We weren't saying the same last week at the Jerez circuit in Spain. Clean getaway. Luke Brooker, a good start. Cameron Dance up 2 spots. He launched beautifully. So too Martin Davis, David Baz. That inside running. The boys that started 8th, 10th and 12th. A hell of a jump. As they all gain 2 spots apiece. Thomas Sinner, the big loser in that drop 4. Maverick Benson dropped 2 and Kevin Wakefield 2 as well. As they make their way down to the hairpin for the first time. Not everybody's favourite real estate, but a circuit that will really suit these cars. Cameron Dance tried to get by Trent Allen, wasn't able to do it. Now it's vulnerable to Adam Fanslow on the outside. Fanslow will go through. He has the slipstream to his advantage. And now Cameron Dance beautifully slides his way into the middle of that gap between Martin Davis and Adam Fanslow. 3 wide. Big launch. Down the inside. Noble on Brooker couldn't do it. Davis side by side with Dance as they go about trying to sort themselves out on the opening lap. Good work, David Baz holds on 9th at the moment. Dougie Gowans, oh, no trouble, gone. Big one. Big crash. John Baldwin wrecked Verstappen style. Then you go back, Thomas Sinner also caught up in that. David Baz as well. Baz was holding on to the invert top 10 pole for the second race. That has evaporated. It now falls into the lap of Maverick Benson. Back to the main straight they go. 1 lap gone. Monday Night Motorsport up and away. So too John Baldwin with a mechanical meatball flag next to his name. So too Thomas Sinner. And Kevin Wakefield's got to slow down to serve. Hello to Adam Lavis. Hello Josh Suno. Here we go again.
Indeed, yeah. At least so far tonight. We had one incident, but at least this week the track is a bit cleaner. No marbles for them to worry about on the opening lap. So a little bit easier for him to get through, and I think the track temp was also a little bit nicer for him. So, yeah, a little bit more grip. But as we've seen all season, these cars are very twitchy with the rear end.
Indeed, they are. Cameron Dance hurled on to 7th at the moment. A few of these guys weren't sure which configuration we were running, whether it was the full circuit or the supercars version, the West circuit, the NASCAR version, and someone said that if it was the shorter track... Oh, Dance down the inside, forceful on Fanslow. Beached it. Oh, no, pointing backwards is Martin Davis. Really evasive action being taken there. Wow. Got away with it. Flick spin, gets back going. That wasn't ideal for him. The move, Dance on Fanslow, fair, but at the same time, Fanslow did get obstructed by that. And Dance did an injustice on himself by the way he tried to complete the move, but buried it too deep into the corner and bogged it on the way out. So he drops down, and now he's up the road. There he is. So through goes Fanslow. And Gowans is nipping at the heels. Johnny Bannock has taken the lead from pole position. He has not looked back. He's 3 seconds to the good.
Might have been a redress by Cameron, possibly.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh. Round they go onto the main straight. Hello to Will Buchanan sliding into the comments for the first time this evening. Down the main straight they go. 4 minutes gone. Look at this on the inside. Ezekias on Brooker. Thank you. It's a wide main straight here, and he used just about all of it to his advantage. 2 laps gone, 1 minute 52. The lap times there. We're good for 6 laps in this opening heat, ladies and gentlemen. John Baldwin's rejoined the circuit a lap down. This is how all the garbage unfolded. David Baz getting it all crossed up and out of shape. Sinner took evasive action, but unfortunately John Baldwin had no such luck. As Sinner was trying to avoid Baz, he got cleaned up by Baldwin. Watch this. Oh, Sinner might get done for the swerve there, but there's nothing he could have done. If he kept going in the line, the direction he was going, he would have absolutely clean bowled David Baz. Bang! Oh, nothing John Baldwin could have done about that. Absolutely nothing. And there was no hope of him driving it back to the line at that point. Oh dear. Big 8th week ahead of us, ladies and gentlemen. GT3 bronze split from Suzuka as soon as we're done. That was Cameron Dance, see what I mean? And Davis on the exit. Davis gave Funzlo a little bit of a double tap as he was pirouetting as well. But I would feel as though Dance was a little bit too far back to be pulling off the move, as evidenced by the fact that he wasn't able to pull it up. Oh dear. Look at this rubbish talk already. It didn't take them long, did it? Did not take them long. August 24. Mark that in your diary, ladies and gentlemen. 7:34 p.m. They're underway already. That's Eastern Standard Time, of course. Dance across the start-finish line, holding down 6th at the moment. Funzlo behind him. 2 positions gained for Mitch Noble. A very good start. Tzidakis is right there with him, though. A lot of +1, -1, +1, -1 going on. Liam Amos, the biggest mover so far, into 10th spot, up 7 spots now. Did he qualify? We need to verify that. I think so. And as a result, they would put him in contention for the most positions gained bonus points available in this race as well. Fascinating title scrap and a little bit of work already for you, I'm sure, Josh Sinner.
Yeah, most definitely. I had already ruled on that one when we were talking about it there. Unfortunately, I definitely put that under a racing incident there with Thomas and John. If you have a look at their numbers, definitely would know to do that. But yeah, it's one of those ones where Thomas did everything in his power to avoid the incident. Yeah. And John, at the same time, couldn't have been expected to slow up any more than he did. It was just something that was going to happen with what happened. Yep. Correct.
And no harm, no foul, Cameron Dance and Adam Funzlo, or was that a regress from Cameron that we saw?
I'll have to have a look. I've only been ruling not in a live format. There was a secondary incident there that with contact with Martin. With secondary contact there with Adam. So I ruled on that one. I haven't actually seen if Cam's redressed that, and I'll have a look. If he has, then yes, I'll make some amendments.
Copy that. Through we go. Round they come onto the main straight. 2 laps to go this time by the line. Cameron Dance was just off the road, but he's gathered it up without losing position to Funzlo. Back across the start-finish line we go. This is a really tight scrap for second. Could not possibly be any any more boring than what we saw dished up from the sprint racing Formula 1 from Zandvoort the other night, ladies and gentlemen. As they make their way through. Mitch Noble, Trent Allen, and Luke Brooker and Cameron Dance. They're all chasing Alex Tzidakis. Tzidakis holds second, having got back past Noble. +7 for Liam Amos, remains the biggest mover so far. +3 for Kevin Bennett, becomes +2 because Ash Williams has just gone past him. And John Baldwin just giving way to lap, as lap traffic to the oncoming cars that are passing through and putting a lap on him. 1.5 minutes to go. You forget how quick these ones fall by the wayside, Adam Lavis. This is the last sprint round of the season for these guys, though. Kevin Bennett lighting it up.
Carlos Ferrari's got a 30-minute race next week, and then the 45-minute feature for week 10. So a couple of longer format races and pit stops to finish off the season. So a bit of strategy to come into play for the final 2 rounds. So tonight's about all out flag to flag, and then we'll see what happens in the next few weeks as they get their pit crews involved again.
Absolutely. Johnny Bannock's about to see the white flag and begin the final lap. We'll do about a minute of overtime here, folks. Bannock sees white. McIntyre's off the road. That could be costly for McIntyre. Has got back on, but the advantage he had over Wakefield and Williams is near but evaporated. McIntyre has now lost 13th to Wakefield. This is how it happened. Geez, this section of the circuit, it's been a trip hazard. There's no doubt about that. And it is one of the more technical and one of the more challenging elements of the circuit to master. There's no doubt about that. Jacob McIntyre back to 13th now. Oh, David Baz is off the road again. David Baz is off the road again. Martin Davis is going to come through and have a piece of that. Beautifully done. And this was David Baz at turn 1.
Just got a light over the crest. And gentle.
Yep. And then grass, and then AstroTurf, and then bitumen. Last lap, Johnny Bannock. Looking good for victory here. 4.8 to the good, 152.077, the fastest lap of the race. That was posted last time through. Well, here's Luke Brooker under pressure from Cameron. Dance down the outside. To the top 5, no, Brooker holds on, but Dance's got the inside running for the right-hander. If Brooker can hold tough around the outside, he'll be on the inside for the next sequence of corners, no. Dance goes through, Dance goes to 5th. Beautifully done, but at the front, no one stopping Johnny Bannock. They won't take this one away from him. Bannock chalks up the first victory of the night. Race 1, round 8, 4th last race of the campaign. Bannock goes to 10th for the invert. 151.934, finished with the fastest lap of the race. Just to run salt into the wound of everybody else that was chasing without success. 5.3 the winning margin over Alex Tzitzikas. This battle for 14th continues on. And, oh, good. Oh, no, they've come together. McIntyre went down the inside of Wakefield. They've come together. Can you believe this? They're only battling for 13th. Kevin Wakefield already voicing his disdain for that one. Adam Funslow, Doug Gowans, Maverick Benson came through 7th, 8th and 9th. Brooker was 6th. Liam Amos 10th will get the invert. Davis Baz, McIntyre, Wakefield, Bennett Williams and Sinner will round out the finishing order. Johnny Baldwin a lap down, comes home 18th. So we start with 18, we finish with 18. That's a good start to the night. Wowee.
Take a bit back there. Oh!
I think you had to. Oh. Ash Williams losing out to Thomas Sinner at the line. I think you had no choice, Josh, in all of that, really.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, just the old replay quitting mid session swap there as you were talking. But
as it does?
We have seen multiple redresses in this race and can confirm. Really good to see Cam Dance redress that. It was a simple bit too late, a little bit too heavy on the brakes and a bit of contact there. But I'll have a look at the Jacob McIntyre incident after this start.
So, there's the invert grid for you. Liam Amos, Maverick Benson, 2:08 local server time in the afternoon. Of course, that's Central American time. 17km/h winds in a southerly direction, 30 degrees the ambient, 52 on track. That's your top 10 inverters, ladies and gentlemen. Watch for Bannock and Tzitzikas to launch from row number 5. From row 6, it's Davis and Baz from 7, Wakefield and McIntyre, Bennett and Sinner from 8, and Williams and Baldwin, hopefully second time lucky, from 9. Set to launch. Last sprint race of the season. Waste options, Formula Renault 3.5 from Coda. And that's a magnificent start from Doug Gowans. Benson got absolutely swamped. Trouble with Funzo. It's been turned around. Halfway up the main straight on the run towards turn 1. There'll be more to that, I'm sure. McIntyre joins from pit lane. Amos leads from Gowans, Brook, a dance. Johnny's up 5 spots already, and Mitch Noble's up 2. What a launch from Johnny Bannock. Mechanical meatball for Adam Funslow. His night's done. Can get back out there and finish 18th, but that's not the sort of finish he needs to stay in contention in this title fight, boys. Can you believe that? Is that the title slipping by the wayside for Adam Funslow? Remembering he was 37 points behind Alex Tzouzikas coming into this round. Finishes of second, third, DNF, 18th, 17th, 8th, 6th, 3rd, 19th. And now the DNF, or the 18th that will be here, to go with that 7th place finish in the opening race. Down the inside. Brooker, oh, trouble, where they go? Dougie Gowans has gone around. There's debris spewing everywhere across the racetrack. There's a front wing missing on Mitch Noble's car. Oh my goodness.
And now Tzouzikas.
Something about invert races. And Davis off the road. And Noble asking questions on the radio. There's David Baz caught up. Sinner as well. So too. That'll be Ash Williams. Martin Davis, I think, was caught up in that as well. Here's Johnny Bannock for second. Bannock up 8 spots on the opening lap. Are you kidding me? Dance is in. Noble, Tzouzikas. There's no pit stop in this race, boys. Rub them all out of contention. Game-changing moments in this championship fight. Particularly for Adam Funslow, who didn't have a drop round to fall back on. Oh boy. The replay file will be one worth keeping an eye on here, folks. Let's have a look at it. So firstly, what happened to Funslow? Oh, he got balked and then clouded up the back. Yep. So he had no way through. And it checked up everyone behind him, and they just kept the jandle into it.
He's got like 30-degree toe in on that rear. That's not good.
No wonder he had to tow. Oh, my goodness. Dougie Gowans. Oh, he got a helping hand, Dance. So that's why Dance had to go to the lane. Watch Sinner here. Sinner on the inside. Davis Baz. Oh, sliding. And Davis had nowhere to go. Williams and Baldwin say thank you very much. And the rest of them just get obstructed. Kevin Wakefield, turn 1, lap 2. Goodbye. Oh, no. So Trent Allen to the front, Liam Amos to second, Luke Brooker to third. Johnny Bannock has been ganged up on. So this is how Bannock has ended up down in 4th place. Bang. See you later. Turned around. I don't think we'll be hearing from Josh Suno for a while. He's going to be busy in race control for the balance of the 15 minutes of this race, and that's based only on what we've seen in the first 3.5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Watch that incident again. Or not. We pick up Dougie Gowans instead. Second lap in a row. He runs into trouble at the end of the back straight. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Luke Brooker, second. Amos, Bannock, then Benson. At Bannock at 3 seconds. Is that enough? Can he reel that in on Trent Allen? That'll be a slowdown, surely. Yes, Liam Amos. Absolutely. Cut the corner there like you wouldn't believe. I reckon based on the the race 1 pace, Bannock's got enough in him to overcome the deficit, which is at the moment 3.5 to Trent Allen. But if he doesn't, he'll look back on that incident and getting a helping hand as the defining moment. Remember, Bannock was in the 51s in that first race. The only driver in the 51s. GT3 bronze split to follow. Here's the move on the inside. Garrett's on the recovery mission. So Dance McIntyre, Noble, Tzouzikas, Bennett. Sorry, scratch Bennett from that. Wakefield. They've all made their way through. Funslow has continued on a lap down after 3.5 on the tow rope. long tow around here, Adam Lavis. That's a hefty invoice for him. He's 2 laps down, and, well, actually that will become 1 lap down when everything corrects itself. But that's a very costly blow to him in this title race.
Yeah, when you turn near the pit exit, that's the longest possible tow you can get, and this track already being a long lap. So was that three and a half minutes stationary in his box? That's a pretty harsh penalty to sit there and wait.
Oh yeah, absolutely. How was that for a big weekend of sport too, by the way, ladies and gentlemen? Good to have, I mean, despite the lacklustre affair at the sprint, good to have Formula One back, I guess. Very good to see IndyCar and NASCAR in action again this morning as well. Some IMSA sports car racing from VIR, which has become one of our favourites this term. Here's Jacob McIntyre under pressure from Thomas Senna. That is for 10th. Senna down the inside. Oh, McIntyre squeezing, and eventually yielding. Had to let him through in the end. Suzuka's fastest lap of the race, 152.331. This is setting up beautifully for Luke Brooker and Johnny Bannock. All their championship contenders around them have run into trouble so far. Suzuka's on pit road. Dance and Funslow on pit road. Early on, Funslow out of contention. Best you can hope for is 18th, unless somebody else parks up before then. And I mean properly parks up. Exits the service stage left. And there he is. He had pace to go with Maverick Benson. That's him on your screen a lap down. Ash Williams, John Baldwin up 11 spots apiece, the big beneficiaries of all of that early garbage. But normally they'd be the ones caught up in it. 7 minutes gone. It's a 15-minute journey. Oh, God. Journey. There we go. There's a reference that you weren't expecting tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Don't stop believing. Nine laps, I reckon, is about the race distance here. Although, that being said, don't be surprised if it comes up short at maybe 8. Although... no, only trouble. Big one. Maverick Benson's gone. Holy smoke. Wowee. That is a destroyed race car. And Adam Funslow says, thank you very much. Wow. Let's have a look at this again. Round they came. Watch Funslow be the beneficiary of this, actually, and how lucky he was to not get caught up in it again. Whoa. Wild ride. They both went left. Just one far further down the road and far quicker than the other. My goodness. That was lap 4. Put that on the run sheet, ladies and gentlemen. Liam Amos and Cameron Durd's getting very well acquainted. Well done. Oh, no, this is not going to end well. They're wheel banging it open wheelers. You can't do it, boys. Something's going to have to give. Amos to the inside, Durd's to the outside. Bang locked it up to keep him at bay. And here comes Citadel on the inside of the pair of them. Wowee. Dance now will be forceful on the outside. He's in no man's land. He's on the wrong side of the white line. He's in no man's land. They don't care about track limits in the United States. Sinner down the inside, tries to get by Dance. No, Dance gets 2 for the price of 1. Sinner nearly got into the side of him on the exit. What the hell? They're trying to self-destruct on a Monday night at Coda. 5 laps gone. Trent Allen brings us back to the line. I'm just having a look there. I think we're good. For 4. Bannock has closed the margin to 2 seconds on the back of that move on Luke Brooker. Bannock has got back to within 2 seconds of Allen, and has 4 laps to go about trying to reel him in. Round they come. Gowans to 8th. Next target, Sinner. They've got by Amos. Dance is a little bit further up the road, having skipped clear. To Zickus down the inside of McIntyre. Bunslow down a lap. Wakefield at risk of being put down a lap in this 9-lap affair. They're certainly going better than what I thought they would. I thought this would be as chaotic as Jerez. It wasn't. It hasn't been yet. They've given it a good crack. I think it hasn't been as chaotic as Jerez.
The lack of marbles is a big help. At least with the track being clean, they've got some grip, even though it's hot as all buggery out there.
Indeed it is. That's a good move. That was Martin Davis on the inside of Liam Amos. And there goes down the inside. Keep your eyes peeled. This battle not over yet. Suzuka's trying to get back into the top 10. Oh, big one on the back. Massive shunt. Huge crash. Mitch Noble and Jacob McIntyre. Suzuka's trying to go 2 for the price of 1 at the end of the back straight, and we'll get that done as well. He goes to 9th on the inside of Davis and also Amos. And it's all going off in Texas. What on earth was that? Mitch Noble, Jacob McIntyre, both on the tow road. Watch this. Oh, McIntyre closed the door.
Yeah, double move.
What are we doing wrecking in a straight line, boys? Monumental show.
Yeah, he's done a stroll there.
I've seen some bad ones in the past. That's right up there. That is right up there. Have fun with that, Josh. Rather you than me. Trent Allen leads from Johnny Bannock, and importantly, Adam Lavis. Bannock's got it to within a second, and there are 2.5 laps to go. I think they get back to the line and get another 2, but I'm not sold on it entirely until I see them cross the start-finish line. So watch this space. I think it's 9, but we could be hovering on the brink of 8. Based purely on pace. The 1 minute 50s, we haven't quite been as low in the 1 minute, like as close to 1 minute 50 neat as I'd like us to be able to achieve this. Because when you think about it, 6 times a minute 50 is 11. Then 1 and 2 makes 14:40, 3 minutes 40. So that gives you 20 seconds leeway. That's all we've got. So if they're not back at the line, no, this will be it. They're not going to get back. They're definitely not going to get back. There's only 2 minutes on the clock. They haven't gone to the main straight yet. This will be white flag. We're only going to get 8. We're only going to get 8. Bannock has half a second to find on the final lap. White flag flies in Texas. We're only going 8. Down the inside, no. That won't work, Alex. He got hung out to dry. Bannock's leading. Bannock has taken the lead. Bannock has taken the lead at turn 1. On Trent Allen. Bannock leads in Texas. Allen, Brooker, Baldwin, Dance, Sinner, Tzoukas, Williams. Davis has got by Williams on the inside on the exit of the final quarter. This is how Johnny Bannock went by Trent Allen. The Revolutionary Racing boys working together. There goes Johnny to the lead. Looking good for the double in Texas. Yeehaw!
Literally as we cut away.
Yeah, literally. Oh, no! Wowee! Williams and Davis. Williams had no choice but to come to pit lane. Davis has been able to flick spin it around and get back going. Davis, Amos, Garlands all go through. And black flag for Mitch Noble. It won't matter. He's on pit road anyway. Maverick Benson's out there. You've got to complete 6 laps to be classed as a finisher in a 75% distance capacity in an 8-lap affair. And that is all that they're going to be able to complete if they're on pit road at the moment. Kevin Bennett, Jacob McIntyre, Mitch Noble, that's all they're going to get. That is all they're going to get. Ash Williams, oh boy. Round we go. Doug Gowans to the inside goes 9th. Goes back to 10th now, relegated by Liam Amos. And Tzoukas has got by Sinner further down the road. Victory for Johnny Bannock in Texas at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin. Victory is his. It's a nightly double. And they even tried their best to deny him a charge towards the front, but the collateral damage that unfolded around it was circumstantial to that. And he managed to find his way through. A brilliant drive, not faultless, but enough to get the job done. And Banach has swept the night in a defining moment for this series. Round onto the main straight, Cameron Dance to fourth at the line. Got by John Baldwin. That's important with a view to the championship. Trent Allen, Luke Brooker, second and third. Cameron Dance, John Baldwin, Thomas Sinner got the better of Alex Tzoukas. David Babb, Dougie Gowans and Liam Amos, the top 10. What the hell was that?
And also, for Johnny there too. So he's gone from a canoe to a top 5 in the second race. That's a good comeback.
That is a phenomenal comeback. 4 race wins now for him in this series. Importantly, that was his first win in sprint mode, and he went out and doubled it up. Surely takes the championship lead away on this round of the series. Tzoukas was only able to manage 7th in all of that after 2nd in the opening race. Game on for the final 2 rounds. Alex Tzoukas and Johnny Banach are duking this out in a big way. Luke Brooker's done his championship aspirations no harm whatsoever by at least finishing. Cameron Dance recovered okay. Adam Funslow, the big story in all of that, recovered to 14th. Ash Williams finishes 13th. Kevin Wakefield, 12th. Mitch Noble, Jacob McIntyre, Kevin Bennett, they're all going to get classified at 75%, but they all finished on the tow rope in pit lane. Absolute madness. The big talking point will be that straight line shunt between McIntyre and Noble. But in the end, look at that. That's the official results sheet courtesy of iRacing for you. Kevin Wakefield, the last of the finishers. And that about a minute and 54 down, so he's very lucky not to go a lap down in the grand scheme of things. But Banach's victory was 1.3 seconds. Brooker in for third. And he made that look easy, Adam. I mean, as we say, he got turned around early on. He quickly put that to one side, focused on the task at hand and reeled in his teammate and, knocked a couple of other positions off along the way. He'll be delighted with that. It just makes you wonder how big the victory margin would have been had he not got turned around in the first place.
Indeed, yeah. It was luckily it was only a half spin, so it was a quick recovery. So he only lost about 4 or 5 seconds there, and with the pace advantage he had, that still put him in the window to get the job done.
Indeed. Good luck with that, Josh, in race control. I take it there's a couple of things that are still listed as provisional.
Yeah, I'm still picking through it. What have I got? I can't count at this time of the night, but 12 rulings so far.
All right, copy that. Ash Williams, that was going so well. It was. Oh, dear. And as for Mitch Noble, Jacob McIntyre just essentially owning up to that one right there, right now. So, yes, that's... I dare say you'll have a customer or two coming over to chat with you a little bit later on, mate. Thank you. Appreciate that, Josh. Well done. When are you back in the car, please?
That's a long story. I currently have a broken thumb, so I tried my best to get in the car for Friday night, but unfortunately I tapped it when I was one hand on the wheel and one hand on the shifter, and I was like, oh, I'm good. And then all of a sudden I tapped it and went, ooh, I'm not good. So yeah, I'm trying to find a workaround for that, but as soon as I can is the answer. Fridays are my night.
Well, in that case, then we'll see you next term. Considering broken thumbs don't heal overnight. But no, mate, we appreciate you stopping on by for a chat with us. Thank you. GT3 Waste Options GT3 racing coming your way very shortly, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have the results later this evening from the platinum, gold and silver splits, and then of course we will get stuck into the bronze split live, exclusive and free on broadcast. Righto. Speaking of broadcast, we've had him in here in broadcast capacity in the past, and we'd love to have him back. He's always got terrific insights, but I'm interested in his personal driving insights into what was a very successful doubleheader in the end, Johnny Bannock. But when you're getting flick spun at the end of the back straight partway through the piece, you could have been thinking, oh no, we're in for a nightmarish sort of second race. But you're able to turn that around quite nicely and still prevail with the double, mate. Well done, and a very vitally important time to hit your markers, and you couldn't have asked for a better outcome than that.
Yeah, thank you. I was stressing a little bit about tonight. Well, the whole RER team were telling me off to... it's the title of a Rihanna song. It's Something Up and Drive. That's what they were saying to me, and they changed my nickname as well, so that's what I did, and thankfully I had a bit more luck on my side this week compared to Jerez in that sprint round.
True.
So,
True.
Yeah, it was pretty chaotic.
When you're not willing to say the word, I take it that there's actually two versions to that Rihanna song, because I've heard the tamer, more family-friendly version called "Shut Up and Drive."
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah. Right, very nicely done. Hey, must have been nice to get that monkey off the back, because sprint racing had been a little bit of a hoodoo for you. But the fourth and final sprint round of the season, and you go out and you sweep the night. Pole, 2 race wins. What a time to break that, trend where the sprint racing had become somewhat your Achilles heel, my friend.
Yeah, I'd have to attribute the Red Bull Ring just to nerves, starting on pole and stuff. But Jerez last week was, I don't think I did anything massively wrong. It was just wrong place, wrong time, and that's what happens. That's racing, so you can't do too much about it. So that's my excuse for Jerez. But tonight, Trent Allen was very vital in my success. He was pretty much leading me away in terms of the times, but thankfully I was able to execute when it came to quali, and it was just nice to have some support up the front. And yeah, he was very helpful, particularly with practice. And just want to say a big thank you to him.
Actually, Trent did a very nice job there, leading from the front in the second race after you got turned around. He was the only one that really stood in your way. Once you'd finished your fight back through the field, you had a couple of seconds to reel him in. Did he play any sort of assisting role in you being able to clear the deficit, or were there any multi-21 situations going on here, or did you chase your tail accordingly and as rightly you should?
It was more of a situation of we'll see what happens and we'll go with it. And he just said if I get to the back of him, he won't make it too difficult. So I'll admit I was driving a bit, not angry, but I was driving very motivatedly tonight, particularly after the spin. I kind of thought I had it in the bag, but obviously Amos saw an opportunity, but it is what it is in that regard. But no, Trent was, we straight away started talking, and he said, if you get close, then I won't fight you too hard. He'll let me go. But so I did have to work for it quite a bit after the spin, particularly with the Hot Wheels. Getting spun around and stuff.
Well, that's exactly right. How much damage did that do to the tyres, if you don't mind me asking?
The netcode gods were on my side tonight compared to Jerez, so no damage whatsoever. It was just some really hot tyres, and just had to manage it for a little bit.
And how difficult is that to do when you're also chasing time and trying to, claw back the deficit that you've earned by having to do that flick spin? So it's a double negative, isn't it? Because you need to chase your tail, you need to make that time back. You've only got 15 minutes to do it, but you've also got to get the tyres back into a friendly sort of temperature range that you can work with them.
Yeah, it was really like a big game of risk around this track. The track state wasn't, I don't know if it was just the track state or if it was hot. The track. Yeah, it was very hot, yes, but compared to other circuits I've driven this car on so far in the season, it just did not feel as gripped up. Most likely the track temp, but it was pretty slidey, and I think I just maybe risked a little bit more and came out on top, thankfully. But the car is a monster to drive, and it's probably a lot of fun. Like probably some of the most fun I've had in iRacing, to be honest.
And it's looking like fun as well. You mentioned nerves at the Red Bull Ring. The fact that you are now prominently running at the front end, do you still get the nerves, or are they not as prominent or prevalent as what they were when we were at the Red Bull Ring?
I think the Red Bull Ring was just a one-off case of just performance nerves. I think when I say nerves now, it's just more about just trying to make it clean, really. that's really what my nerves are about, and just try not to mess with karma too much, really. So I kind of need it with my situation at the moment in terms of points, and obviously no drop rounds. So I'm just praying for a clean weekend, and then if I can just use my pace to get to the front, then happy days. But if not, then congrats to the other boys, and that's the story pretty much.
All right, very nicely done. Interesting too, the fact that we've no longer got any sprint rounds on the schedule, mate, but we've got 2 big Grand Prix circuits to rip our way through. Immediate thoughts on the Hungaro ring, as that is the next stop?
I'm looking forward to it. Definitely a lot less undulation compared to Coda, so I'm looking forward to that. I think maybe it'll still be hot, but not as hot as Texas, so it'll be good. So I'm looking forward to it, and looking forward to getting to work and trying to get used to the car around there, and I'm looking forward to Suzuka as well, but hopefully I can have some luck there as well and just keep it going.
Indeed. I'll have some updates for you in just a few moments. Of course, all of our updates are provisional at this point in time, as you know, because race control's got a little bit of work to do. Coda, not everybody's cup of tea, but still a track that agreed with you in many respects. May not have necessarily been as friendly on the cars as we'd normally associate it. It's normally an open wheel circuit. But where does it rank for you? Is this one that you're just happy to, do away with and be over and done with?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, no hate on it. It's just, it has a really weird flow, especially that first sector and the final sector. There's a track designer out there who's happy with himself, but I'm not the biggest fan in the world. But I'm happy tonight, so I'll take it. And if I was to meet the bloke, I'll say thank you. Just fine racing.
If ever I thought that Herman Tuki would tune into the platforms of the Gentleman's Sim Racing Club, I'd give him a shout out. But no, I think he's got other things going on early on a Monday morning in his part of the world. Hey, your championship opposition, mate. Let's have a quick chat about them, because by gee, it was a night for the championship contenders, and it was a night for it was a defining night for them, in the sense that Adam Funslow's had that start line incident in race 2. That's going to put him further adrift. You've got Cameron Dance, who had a mixed bag of results and was in the wars, in the thick of it, trying to find some clear air right from the get-go. And as for you and Alex Tzikis, it's going to be the bees proverbial covering you between first and second going into the final 2 rounds. Are you thinking more about the championship now after this clean sweep, or less?
Yeah, it's
trying not to, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm trying not to, because I feel like once you really start focusing on it, then it does. I don't know. I just have a weird thing with luck. If you ever met me in person, I'm a really unlucky person most of the time. So I try to not say too much, but I'm trying my best just to go about it in a. I'm sounding like a weirdo right now, but I'm trying to go about it in a humble way. Like, I'm just taking it race by race. If I do well, I do well. If I don't do well, then I'm not going to stress about it, because anything can happen. But just as long as I put my time in and just keep my head clear, then I feel like I have a shot at it. But I'm not going to say anything right now, because I don't want to jinx myself. But we're just going to try and keep it going.
And noting full well that Suzuka is so very important, have a look at that. Oh, I'll come back to you on the point about Suzuka, mate, but let's have a look at that. This is provisional. This is before penalties are applied, all that sort of stuff, but that is provisionally what you're looking at, ladies and gentlemen. Alex Tzikis 554, Johnny Banach 553. I said bees proverbial, and I meant it. Have a look at that. My goodness. Luke Rooker's about 19 points further back on 534. Cameron Dance only 5 back. That round did really hurt Adam Funzel on the grand scheme of things, 500, but 54 points, it's not a complete write-off for him at this particular point in time. Should the other lot fall into issues next week, or particularly the week after, where bonus points are up for grabs and extra points are up for grabs, then, he could claw his way back. But at the moment, nothing. Just one solitary point covering Tzikis and Banach at the top of the order. There you go. Couldn't ask for much more. SLM Motorsport, Doug Gowans, Thomas Sinner, the leader of the team's bragging rights at the moment, by geez, 130 on the Injectors Online entries of Guy Leach and Maverick Benson. Revolution E-Racing, Johnny Bannock, Trent Allen, third, 672. And then Sim Racing, Brotherhood, Liam Amos, Jacob McIntyre, 560, and JMR, 554. Alex Tazickas all on his lonesome. He's up there in 50s doing a Denchi. Oh, very good. And then further back, you've got Cameron Danson, Bradley Ratu, Luke Brooker, John Baldwin, Tarek Alani, Adam Funslow, David Baz, top 10 in that team's bragging rights race at the moment. Wow-wee, a lot to decipher and all of that. Johnny, critical that Suzuka goes well for you and you at least net a finishing result there and a competitive one at that, given that there are those extra points on the line.
Yeah. I'm just gonna just keep it going, and I'm just trying not to jinx myself. But I feel like I can do it if I put the time in and if I play it smart. Just gotta keep going. Really, I don't really have much more to say. Unfortunately, I wish I had more for you, Zach.
I think a little bit lost for words and a little bit excited and overwhelmed and all those things rolled into one at the same time, mate. Congratulations, a magnificent result. I won't hold you up any longer. It's not your fault, and no other bastard wants to turn up and have a chat to us at this time on a Monday night. But that means that we'll have a little bit of an intermission before we get stuck into GT3. But that's the point, ladies and gentlemen. This post-race show is normally meant to accommodate for more than one post-race interview, and it hasn't because no one else has turned up to say good day to us. So I'm just going to call it as it is. Mate, thank you to you. Well done. Magnificent performance, particularly the bounce back in race 2, because it was on the ropes there when you got turned around at this point of the circuit down here at the end of the back straight. But well done on the comeback and the recovery that went with that. And we wish you all the best for the final 2 weeks of the season. Who would you like to thank?
I'd just like to thank the good people at Shield Code, AITX, Sudspeed, Slady's Lost Works, and Chelsea Clean, and all them good folk. Thanks for supporting us. And also, I do enjoy talking to you, Zach. I only like to do it when I've earned it, though. I feel like it's a good treat for myself. So I hope I can keep it going. But we'll see how we go.
You are welcome in here anytime you like. You know that. As I say, if you want to come back in an expert commentary role at any point, you just let me know. Welcome here anytime, earned it or otherwise. We love having a chat with you, mate. Well done. And hopefully, as you say, hopefully we're having a chat with you next week and the one after as well.
Thank you, Zach. Hope so as well. Take it easy.
And there he is, Johnny Bannock. Absolutely delighting for him to get the double tonight, get the monkey off the back. A magnificent performance, and puts him right there, nipping at the heels of Alex Tazickas. A tantalising championship decider in prospect there. We may as well take a break. We've got no one else. It's just Adam and I. We'll catch our breath. We'll come back. 8:30 Eastern Standard Time is when qualifying is scheduled in for GT3 Bronze. We're bringing it to you from Suzuka tonight. It's the final 60-minute race of the season for them. We go back sprint racing next week, then the 90-minute affair a week after. Remember, that's right, Monday, September 7, an extended broadcast for you, because we'll have the 45 minutes here for these guys, then the 90 minutes for GT3 from Mount Panorama. So a lot to look forward to on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. And we are here with thanks to Disruptive Labs, Waste Options, Trophy AI, merch.tgsrci.com, and Flash Graphics. Well done to Johnny Bannock. Got the monkey off the back. Got his first sprint race win of the season. Went out there, doubled up, claimed ground honours as well. 4 race wins for him so far, despite that moment there. And 3 round wins to go with it. On behalf of Adam and I, for the moment, we'll say goodbye. Stay where you are, though, because as soon as we have pictures coming into you from the Suzuka circuit, you'll be able to follow along with all the qualifying action live, and we'll pick up the commentary a couple of minutes before the checkered flag flies there to do an update of the championship's points and set the scene for the 8th round of Waste Options GT3. Night 1, Week 8, Term 3. The platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. We are live, we are exclusive and free, and we are back with more on the other side of this short break. The platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club and a massive edition of Monday Night Motorsport for you across Facebook and YouTube. Great to have you along for the ride wherever you're tuning in, all around Australia or indeed the world. That is the Suzuka International Racing Course, home of the Japanese Formula One Grand Prix, home of the Suzuka 8 Hour on motorcycles, and for the next hour, home of Waste Auctions GT3 Bronze. We'll have the results from Platinum, Gold and Silver at a little bit later on in the evening, a little later on in the show. To a later point in time when we get into the post-race and all that jazz, ladies and gentlemen. But right now, all our focus, all our attention, all our eyes, and all of our interest is with the bronze split. There it is. There's the circuit for you. 5.75 kilometres around. One of the longest longer stops on the tour. Zach Cabin and Dave Oliver with you. Adam Lavis here as well. Dave's just slid into the booth between Formula Renault 3.5 and Waste Options GT3. We'll get to the circuit conditions in just a moment. There's a 5-minute warm-up unfolding right now, ladies and gentlemen. I'll have you take one wild stab in the dark, one wild guess as to why that may be the case, and then we're going to disappoint you. Let's have a look at the championship standings coming into this round. Noting that this is the last of the 60-minute races for the season. Next week, of course, we get stuck into sprint racing from the Red Bull Ring, then on to Mount Panorama Bathurst for the 90-minute finale. Right, so there you have it. JD down on top of the points table at the moment, 15 points over Liam O'Connor, Martin Davis and Troy Mortensen, 3rd and 4th. Luke Vegeta, Colin Bennett, 5th and 6th. Tim Watson and Mitchell Cherry. Then Dale Sharp and Harrison Rayner, the top 10. Sharpie, a DNR last week. Of course, looking after his blood pressure, among other things at the moment. Health first for Sharpie. 2 McLarens, a Lambo, 2 Bimmers, 2 Fords, 2 Porsches, and 1 stole Ferrari in the top 10 at the moment. And Greg Colgan just outside in the Chev as well. But as far as that top 10 is concerned, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, count them, 6 different manufacturers, 4 of which have 2 representatives and 2, of course, have 1. The weather, we'll update you in just a moment. We were told there was a slight chance of some precipitation tonight. It hasn't come to pass. And as a result, as the warm-up session comes to an end, this is what the lay of the land, the state of play looks like for you, ladies and gentlemen. And there we go. At 12 o'clock local server time, 7 km/h winds, southerly, southeasterly direction. And yes, that's south, tending southeasterly. 28 degrees, the ambient, 45 on track, cloudy conditions, 61% humidity and dry so far, which is good to see. Welcome to you, Dave Oliver. Small field, but still 23 is a good turnout. Looking forward to seeing how this plays out. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, this is our last look at the bronze split this season. We're working our way up the chain. We'll have silver and gold next week, and then, of course, platinum the week after. Our last look at the bronze split. We'll have a look at the grid. In fact, you can have a look at that for yourself. Dave, welcome to you. Suzuka, great racetrack. Should be interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, it's always been a fun track to attack, and it's it's going to be an interesting one tonight, and it'll be great to go see how these bronze guys go over this 60-minute race.
There's the grid for you, ladies and gentlemen. And Liam O'Connor alongside Colin Bennett on the front row, Brian Bullock and Luke Vegan in the second row, Tristan Koch, Martin Davis from 3, Tom Pritchard, Troy Mortensen from 4, Barry Punter and Greg Colgan make up the top 10. Mitch Cherry and JD Dent or Jack Dent, as he is known these days. JD, of course, on the points table, but Jack on timing screens. There he is, the points leader starting outside the top 10 tonight in 12th. The 7th row, Aidan Rogers, Tim Watson. The 8th row, Luke Samuel and Steve Harvey. The 9th row, Jason Letherby and Wayne Gardner. Interesting. Not the Wayne Gardner, surely. And then Steve Daniels and Riley Dees on row number 10. Copy. Kevin Wakefield and Harrison Rayner will share the final row on this grid. Tommy Cole's watching on from Race Control. In fact, Race Control across the board tonight. You got Thomas here and Lee in the Platinum split. Lee, I'm not sure who's in the other 2 channels. I don't think there's anyone there actually. So Silver and Gold might be without a referee at this particular point in time. We'll wait and see. Let's get ready to rock and roll. Out there tonight you've got Chev, Lambo, Aston, Mercedes, Bimmer, McLaren, Ford, Ferrari, Porsche, and Acura. And that's it. There's one I haven't mentioned. Let's get ready to rock and roll. It's Audi because Thomas Cole's running that in Race Control. 10 manufacturers on the circuit. Let's go to work in one of our more versatile fields of waste options. GT3, the bronze split from Suzuka is underway. Pivotal point of the series, race 11 of 14, round 8 of 10. Clean start, Liam O'Connor leads us to the first corner. Do we all make it safely and calmly and cleanly? No, we don't. Brian Bullock's in the wall on the exit of turn 2. Brian Bullock's pointing the wrong way on the opening lap and drops all the way to 22nd. A net loss of 19 spots for the man that started 3rd. The question will be, did he do it on his own or did he have some help? But Liam O'Connor and Colin Bennett straight clear at the front of the field. No, there goes Liam O'Connor! No one wants to lead from the front here. Colin Bennett takes the lead. Luke Vegan to the second, Martin Davis to 3rd, and Davis is up 3 spots already. Oh boy.
Yeah, you definitely see a lot of. Yeah, you definitely see that a few guys have been caught out with the cold tyres in these opening laps, especially through those Porsche curves. Well, not Porsche curves, sorry, but yeah, you know the curves at the start.
Oh no, there goes Jason Letherby, running the English flag, of course. So we've got great international representation on the platforms of the GSRC tonight as well, folks. Troy Mortensen there in 6th right now. Bennett, Wegener and Davis BMW leads, Ford leads, Porsche 1, 2, 3. There are 6 different manufacturers at the moment in the top 10. McLaren, Ferrari and Chev also in that mix. To 130R they go. To the Casio Triangle, to the end of the first lap. Where are the lap times situated? About that 2-minute marker. Makes it relatively easy to work out where we're going time-wise tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Across the start-finish line we go. Here's the end of the opening lap. Probably 29 to 30 laps on course for these GT3 bronze competitors tonight. 3 wide on the run to... Uh-oh. Come on, boys. Oh, hold your breath. Very good. Very good. Oh, no. Tristan Koch is gone. He was running 4th. He's now 13th. Koch is off the road and trying to recover. Cold tire has tripped him up all over the place, Dave.
Yeah, other things, especially he's just lost the back there going into turn 2, unfortunately. So hopefully he'll be able to recover from that and continue on. But yeah, it didn't look like he had any damage. It just, everyone seemed to avoid, which was great.
Extraordinary.
Oh
no, more trouble. There goes Greg Colgan. Barry Punter, sorry. And Colgan's with him. Colgan is with him. He was out of view. He's now in view. Colgan and Punter drop to the rear of the field. Oh, boy. There goes Wayne Gardner. Now, that's interesting. If it is the 87 World Motorcycle Champion, this is the circuit that he's been to in real life. How nice to have at least the namesake of... Maybe, I don't know. We'll wait and see. We're going to have to follow that one up with interest.
Yeah, it's a shame that, with Barry Punter's got punted going into, was it turn 9 there? So,
I see what you did there. Very nice.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, he's dropped right down to the end while he waited for the whole line to go past. But, he got a little bit... It did get clipped once or twice going while he was stationary there, so hopefully it's not too much damage and he'll be able to continue on.
Indeed. Second lap in the books, already trouble. 21 runners still, but 15 positions lost for Brian Bullock, 10 for Greg Colgan and 13 for Barry Punter. The most positions gained so far, Harrison. Rayner in that Lambo, up 12 spots. Bullock has just been passed by Kevin Wakefield. In fact, he was trying to get past Kevin Wakefield, I should say. My apologies. And he's got Riley Dees for company in close tow behind him. Wagner, fastest over the race so far. Wegener, I should say. 203.281. Sorry, I was reading what was on the bottom of the screen. That's all right. I was just going to... I've just had a message come in, Dave Oliver. You'll appreciate this. One of my mates who runs 4SS on the car in New South Wales, Dunlop Kart Stars, Bill. Zach, you're a fast motor bloke than I am. Where can I watch the 2022 Bathurst 6 hours? I was going to say, I don't think Stan Sport has the rights to it anymore, but it was on Stan. No, he's obviously found someone's uploaded it onto YouTube, and I'll just flag the legality of that at this particular point in time. But at least he's found what he was looking for, so that's all good. Replay. This was Brian Bullock opening lap, all on his own. And a very light touch of the wall as well. And that's a critical point, Dave. Barry Punter's had no choice but to come in and stop and grab 5.87 seconds worth of repairs and fuel. And that might compromise him for the rest of the night. And again, Liam O'Connor, that was an isolated standalone incident. And we saw a lot of that in the early laps. And what the hell was going on there with the Merc? Just quietly, Riley Dees, that was erratic. And then further afield, you had Jason Letherby going off the road. So there was all sorts of garbage going on. But in the end, they got through unscathed. Here's Rayner. This was on replay. Oh, no, it won't be clean. No, Rayner's going to have an invoice to serve there.
Yeah, he may have gone up 12 spots, but the potentially drop a few come the end of the race.
So race control already with their first adjudications to do tonight. This was Tristan Koch, lap 2. 202.616 for Martin Davis. Koch all on his own, loose at 1.
Hey there, Mr. Drifter.
This was Steve Harvey. So similar incidents right across the board tonight. Off-track alerts, drivers in the grass and the gravel and the kiddie litter, and the wrong side of the white lines. But a safe enough rejoin there for Harvey in the 555 SimSport entry. Back we go. We found Luke Wegener chasing Colin Bennett. Martin Davis in close pursuit. So a good 3-horse race at the front here, Dave, and 4 different manufacturers in the top 4 right now. But these top 3 skipping clear. They've built a little bit of breathing space between themselves and Tommy Pritchard, who holds 4th.
Yeah, that top 3 have pulled away nicely, and they've definitely got a bit of pace compared to the little pack behind. So those other guys could, clean up and stop, the fighting and stuff. They might be able to organise themselves and catch up, but just have to see how it goes. But yeah, the front 3 have definitely switched it on, going for it.
Pete Daniels, we're right on board with him in 14th. Up 5 spots so far, chasing Wayne Gardner. No confirmation yet as to whether or not that is the 87 World Motorcycle Champion. And of course, former supercar runner. Surely he's out enjoying retirement, or surely this is just someone who, rather ironically happens to have the same name, coincidentally. Surely he's off chasing his son Remy around Europe, where he's of course competing in the World Superbike Championship at the moment. Colin Bennett, Luke Wegener, Martin Davis, Tom Pritchard, Liam O'Connor, the top 5 here. Troy Mortensen is 6th, and Jack Dent up 5 spots already, the championship leader in 7th. I've also had that same bloke that was just asking about where I can find he can find the 2022 Data 6-hour link, Dave. He's also said, next time I see you, I also want an update on all this rubbish you've been posting about. I'm very intrigued. I said, well, make sure you put at least an hour aside. But it's not a short story. I think if anyone has reached out to you over the course of the last 3 weeks, I'm sure you'd probably have to say the same thing. It's not a straightforward sort of 5-minute explanation, that one.
Unfortunately.
You just see.
Here's Harrison Rayner in 9th. Does he have an invoice coming his way, Adam?
I haven't checked yet. I just heard something on the timing tower. Leatherby's got a DQ flag, so I'm assuming he must have cleared a penalty of some sort.
Yep, and he's gone. His night is done.
Or actually, the chance are given that type of thing, most likely he's had a spin and he's gone too far the wrong way to recover. And because iRacing, you can basically go about 200 metres backwards before it dings you.
Yep.
I think it might have actually been for a voice comms.
Right. Well,
Harrison Rayner in his 2nd incident of the night. This time getting into the side of Timmy Watson.
Well, if he hasn't got one from earlier, he's doubling down. It
never bodes well when you're running into one of our race control team either on track, Adam.
And the only thing lucky for him is Jack Miller's racing in the Goldsmith, so he's not here to harass him in the chat.
Oh boy, what drama we've seen here, and it's only 11.5 minutes in. So an instant disqualification for Letterby from the other side of the pond. The BMW poleaxe gone, out, done. And now it's interesting, right? Because
Oh, he is redressing.
it's happened at 2.93 laps. So that's literally been an old F4 job on the spot. No reporting to pit lane, no nothing. Just the old heave-ho.
You know, the RCs have been given authority that, like if it's sort of like a mild swear or a slip of the tongue type thing, then they'll get a warning. But if there's some malice or any sort of what's the best word for it? Accusation, like if it's aggressive against another person or anything like that, then that's an instant DQ for commerce violations. So always need to be on their behaviour if they want to push the button.
So four-letter words that often appear in Duke Jeffrey's skit.
Yeah, well,
probably off limit.
If it's classified as abusive or along those lines, then yeah, you're straight out the door.
Down the inside, Tristan Koch. On the outside, oh geez, it's antsy, but Koch gets through on Rogers. Nicely done. Koch to 11th now on the comeback trail after his own early race incident. Bennett, Wegener, Davis and Pritchard, then O'Connor. Bennett to the lead at the expense of O'Connor earlier in the piece. Wegener about half a second away at the moment, so the top three keeping one another honest. I reckon Martin Davis is the dark horse in all of this, Dave. I just can't help but feel as though he's there without knocking on the door, but he might be playing the long game, strategically speaking, just sitting back, letting these guys go at it, and then he might pounce in the last stint after all the pit stops are done and dusted.
Yeah, that's the way to do it sometimes. It's just, sit behind if you can, just see where the front two are strong, potentially save a little bit of fuel, and then go for the, potentially in the two stops, go for an undercut, overcut, and get them on fuel.
Colin Bennett to the end of the Casio triangle, to the end of lap number 7 now. So we're in that first window. For anyone that wants to do the long stops, do a short stop here and then do a long stop later, they're certainly in the window to do that now. The reverse strat, if you like.
Yeah, especially if they're caught in traffic, and it's sometimes it is better to do that. Yeah, reverse strat, come in, do your shorter fuel, and then try and get some clear air, and get some clear air, and just go and pick up some pace. So then when you do happen to do your longer fuel stop invoice, you will hopefully gain some positions through that.
You definitely, like if you're in Brian Bullock, Patricia Koch's shoes, where you've made a boo-boo and put yourself back in the back a bit. That's probably something you should have in the back of your arsenal. And it looks like they're trucking on, trying to get the right moves done on track. So still good on it, and we'll see how they go.
Yeah, especially with Brian, like he had the pace to be in that top 3 in qualifying. So hopefully he
there you go.
Has recognised that, and then.
Tommy Cole's found the sheet to put some stuff on the shot page for you.
There we go. 10 seconds gone. Penalty for Greg Colgan.
I think Harry
To
just
the late of Barry Punter. Uh-oh. His third incident of the night.
Yeah, just that awkward coming off the curb there.
But there's been plenty. There's been plenty of incidents so far. Tommy's been a busy boy. It's not going to be a quiet night for him. Rayner in 16th. Couple of question marks hovering over his head at the moment. Barry Punter, the last runner on the circuit, the only one to stop so far as well, down in 21st position. Here's the run. Gardner under pressure. Through on the inside goes Brian Bullock. Fighting back after that early race incident. where he tripped himself up on the opening lap, dropped right to the tail, I should say, of the train. And sure enough, you know how I was saying there earlier, boys, that I had someone asking me for YouTube links and wanting to know about the WSA debacle? There he is sliding into the comments because I told him I was at work. He apologised for interrupting. He said, but send me the link so I can tune in. Ollie McLansborough. 4SS regular, prominent front runner in the Dunlop Kart Stars series at the moment, and that of course back on track next weekend at the Orange Kart Club. If any of us can get there, up and under, down on the inside, Harrison Rayner gets relegated, having only just got through, a little bit of hip and shoulder. Brian Bullock, Wayne Gardner, Luke Samuel, Greg Colgan, Harrison Rayner. That's an interesting battle pack at the moment. Samuel and Colgan go through at the expense of Rayner back to 17th. And I can't help but feel as though in Harrison Rayner's case, if you're going to dish it out, you've got to be prepared to cop it as well, Dave.
Yeah, it was a nice cheeky switchback there. So, and unfortunately, he kind of got the raw end of that deal there. Oh, bit of rallycross happening by Aidan Rogers.
So Rogers defending at the moment. The up and under, there was a little bit of a tap there on the exit. Rogers recovers nicely, sits 11th. Rayner has got back by Colgan as well, so 16th. That battle continues. Look at him. Look at him. Jared Knight. On the subject of competitors that I know from the karting scene that I've had the pleasure of commentating at the Orange Kart Club before, there's another one of them. Hello, Nighty. Good to have you tuning in. PTSD, all right, for you. And I'm just trying to remember, was it the Porsches or was it GT3? Up towards 130R we go. Samuel on the outside, Rayner on the inside. Have a look at this. Rayner goes through. Oh, that's hairy. Around the outside, that was Colgan. He had two wheels almost in the grass, and that's the last place you want to have your wheels at the moment. Oh no. Harrison Rayner! That is a monster shunt! And it's taken Colgan with him! Can you believe this? Rayner's night goes from bad to worse, and that's going nowhere but the garage, my friend! Get it on the tow rope! It's a bloody long way around when you've only just crossed the control line, all crossed up, all on his own, bang into the tyre wall, bang, bang. He got around like a bloody pinata, and his night is done.
Oh yeah, that's super unfortunate that it's also affected two other competitors there. Yeah, that's so unlucky for Greg there.
And more to the point, Samuel also got caught up in that as well.
Yeah, his front suspension's gone.
And Rayner's had to get on the tow rope. He wasn't going to make it around. It was only getting on the tow rope and going straight to the back of the garage. They may have a fast repair waiting for them, but at this point, if you're Harrison Rayner, you've got to ask the question, why bother? Mechanical meatballs all around the place at the moment. Colgan and Punter continue on.
And Wagner just had a warning out the edge of the spoon there, big snap of oversteer. So that's a bit of a warning with his throttle, just to be a little bit more gentle as the tyres start to wear down.
I've never seen a Lambo do a Porsche thing and snap like that, just as it's getting back up to speed. Have a look at it again. I'm sure we'll have another chance. This was Brian Bullock. And Bullock with his own little moment, yeah. Just snap oversteer moment, and then all of a sudden, you're a passenger waltzing through the weeds. Let's have a look at this, Rayner.
It's just got the curb bad.
Yep, bang. I've never seen a Lambo respond that way at that point of the racetrack. I know it's downhill, it's off camber a little bit, you're trying to get back up to speed, but yeah, just as you're getting off the curb, bang, 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 gone. And then wipe out. Oh. And it's taken three contenders out. Brian Bullock, Kevin Wakefield onto pit lane. We suspect that's the first of their scheduled stops. Riley Dees continues on.
You know,
what the hell?
That front wheel's up on the guard wire. Look at it. Look at that front wheel. It's not going anywhere.
No, just forget about it. Sometimes you just have to concede defeat. Brian Bullock, Kevin Wakefield, Greg Colgan, Luke Samuel, Harrison Rain are the top 5. Martin Davis and Tom Pritchard are back there 3rd and 4th at the moment. Begner's only the second clear of Davis, who has 5.5 on Pritchard, but he's under relentless pressure from Liam O'Connor. That's the battle we've picked up on screen now. And Steve Harvey was just off the road there for a moment as well. So it's interesting, David, with all this attrition, the field very well spread out at this particular point, except for here. The battle before is right. It's alive and well. Tim Watson, also Mitch Cherry and Tristan Kosh arguing over 8th place on the racetrack. They're about your 2 main battles at the moment as we head for the first round of pit stops.
Yeah, that front 3 is still close. Like, it's spread out a little bit, but that's still real bloody close. And then also that 4th, 5th battle with Pritchard and O'Connor is nice and close there as well. So yeah, it's see how that goes once that filters through the first wave of stops, and see if they're able. Hopefully, they're able to pop out into some clear air.
On the pit lane comes Hayden Rogers.
Yeah, so talking about pit stops, Brian Bullock and Kevin Wakefield pitted just about a lap ago, so they've kind of they've pulled the trigger early, and hopefully they'll be able to use that clear air and gain a few positions out of that.
Well, really, Adam, it's the third of the 3 strategies at play here. Either you burn it down the line, you burn it down to empty twice, and a small top up at the end, or you go a short top up and then a full run, burn the tank empty and run a full tank down to empty for the run home, or you go straight down the middle and go 20 minutes, 40 minutes and through. And at 10 laps in, that's exactly what you've seen Wakefield and Bullock do. Samuel and Rayner have been able to get back out there, albeit a lap down. Colgan's still sitting stationary on pit lane. I absolutely agree with the old limit Lansborough, and it's not as though our dear leader is making it any easier for you to get into the housing market anyway. So absolutely, yes, Adam.
Wayne Gardner's got a penalty on pit exit by the look of it.
Oh no. Greg Colgan has been stationary for 3 minutes. I was about to check in actually. 3 full-length stops for Gardner, Bullock, and Dees. And almost full fuel for Rogers and also Wakefield, but for the 5.87 stop at Barry Punter, he's on that reverse strut at the moment.
He's crossed the white line. He's crossed the white line.
You cannot cross, you cannot veer left until you go over that blue strip halfway across the racetrack there on the run to turn 1, boys. That is Racecraft 101, and that is, know your pit lane entry speed limits, know your exits, know your trip up points, know those little 1%ers before you go out there racing. JD down on the pit lane, so to Martin Davis, down on the inside, Cherry, no. Tim Watson ahead of him, Tristan Kosh behind him at the moment. A top 8 yet to stop at the Suzuka International Circuit.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Martin goes here.
Yes.
Because with him hitting out of the top 3, and it'd be interesting to see how, because he's only done about a 16, 17 second stop, so he has gone a little shorter than some of the others, so he might actually do that slightly shorter stop and might be able to actually jump Luke and Colin.
Gardner's still to clear that black flag as well, so keep an eye out for him. He's coming towards the end of this lap.
They've both almost gone off.
They're both on the limit. Gardner's going into pit lane now to clear that black flag, so that'll be a long stop and hold for Wayne.
Might be a drive-through.
It might be a drive-through. We'll follow that with interest. If it is just a drive-through, he'll be okay. If not, it's a very long penalty that he's about to pay. No, it does look like it's a drive-through, you are right. But it's still an invoice. It's still one that will cost him at the end of the night. Just repeating, the one disqualification so far, Letherby, on lap number 3. Everybody else is still running. Colgan's got back out there after 3.5 minutes on the tow rope, but he is 2 laps down, and Samuel and Rayner remain 1 lap down, which means 18 on the lead lap, boys, and the leaders are on pit road.
And the good news is it looks like Gardner's learned from his mistakes. He managed to exit the pits correctly this time.
But there it is, comms violation confirmation from its control as well. Oh boy, a comms violation. Dear oh dear. So Leffington's night done, and wearing a whack across the knuckles, I'd say, both before, during and after, Dave.
Yeah, I did actually go back and have and listen to the recording, and yeah, it was a little pointed, you could say. So
okay,
a little pointed, and yeah, there might have been a F-bomb or 2. So yeah, not great.
Well, there we go. Wagner didn't take tyres, and Bennett did.
Yeah,
and there you go.
Davis has picked a lot of them. Martin around the outside goes through. He went 1 lap shorter, and the net reward is the race lead for the moment, and 2 seconds to the good. Wagner and Bennett come back out. Positions number 2 and 3, and O'Connor is another 5 seconds up the road. Rayner, Harry, don't get involved in another incident.
Oh.
Do not go. Oh, no, that's Bennett all on his own. That's Bennett all on his own. But I was going to say, Harry, you've already been caught up in 3 or 4 incidents tonight, son. You don't want to, as a lapped back marker, you don't want to get caught up in somebody else's garbage. That's the last thing you need to worry about right now. But thankfully, that was not of his own doing.
Yeah, you can definitely tell with Colin. Yeah, he has done tyres, and he's already dropped back nearly 5.5 seconds due to that little off, and then also the warm-up process. So you never know then, but it might, if it, depending on how the others go, he might come back towards the front 2 towards the end, because he did have a longer stop compared to Martin and Luke. So yeah, you never know how it goes, and especially with this, nearly 45-degree track temp. By the end of the race, the tyres could be a little toasty and squishy like a marshmallow.
It's one of the things with this new tyre model, with that pretty harsh cold tyre warm-up phase, and also the fact that, as we know, with the way the server's set up in the regular races, it does cost you a couple extra seconds to do all 4 tyres. So now there's even more of an invoice. You've got a couple of seconds to do the tyres, and then also another 5 to 10 seconds, depending on how good your cold tyre driving skills are on the outlap, that you then need to hope comes back to the end when the other guy's tyres go off.
Okay, I'm just trying to work out who Minzy Whiffleheim is on the user, but obviously was well aware of the fact that we were broadcasting bronze tonight, so that leads me to believe that it's someone within the club throwing some shade from the comment section. But hey, it's been a terrific race so far. What are we? We're 29 minutes deep. We're almost at halfway. It's been going beautifully. Plenty of drama, plenty of moments and points of interest to keep us engaged and intrigued. No complaints so far. 29 3/4 minutes gone. You're about to watch the clock tick to 30 minutes half race distance, ladies and gentlemen. We're on lap 15. Martin Davis leads the way at the Suzuka circuit, probably heading for 29 laps. I mean, it's touch and go as to whether we get the actual full 30, Dave, depending upon timings and pit lane transits and other things. But I think 29 would be a happy hunting ground for most tonight as we go through the halfway marker of this motor race. Remembering full well that if we are to squeeze that 30th lap in, hello Tommy, thank you, appreciate that. No, we're going well. It's been good fun. Are you enjoying it? More at the point. Tom C. Now, there's only one Tom C that I know. That's race control Tommy Cole, ladies and gentlemen. So obviously things have died down nicely in race control for Tommy to have enough time to slide into the comment section. I like it. No, we're having a ball, mate. Hopefully it's been good fun for you as well. Although I'm very interested in hearing said audio, Dave Oliver, at the end of this race too, by the way, and I think you know that already. You know me well enough by now. Martin Davis, Rick Vegeta, Colin Bennett, Liam O'Connor and Tom Pritchard. Suffice to say, just to finish on Dave's point, someone was firmly in the firing line. That's why the DQ has been applied. Davis, Wagner, Bennett, and then O'Connor. Pritchard, Cherry, the battle you're watching on screen at the moment, 5th and 6th. There are 2 other battles out there. Timmy Watson and Steve Daniels, and also Aidan Rogers and Brian Bullock. And interesting to see how the guys that run into trouble early, Dave, They've started the recovery. Brian Bullock's still struggling to get inside the top 13 at the moment. This is him now having a look at Aidan Rogers, and that's only for 13th. It's a long way back to even a top 10 finish from here.
Yeah, that even just that battle with Pritchard and Cherry. It's just looking at the lane and box times. Cherry actually did a heck of a lot shorter stop compared to Pritchard by nearly 10 seconds. So he's kind of jumped up potentially jumped up just maybe in like track position to be right up with Tommy Pritchard there. So yeah, he's definitely going to have a we'll have a bigger invoice on his second stop. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes, with the, following the pace of Tom there. But yeah, be interesting to see how it shakes out at the end.
Down the main straight, down the inside. Wakefield under pressure from Gardner. Whoa! More work for Tommy Cole at turn 1. Kevin Wakefield and Wade Gardner make contact this time, and Wakefield spears into the dirt.
It's a mighty good catch there by Kevin. But
could have been a lot worse. Look at this.
His tyres will be roasting, and you can definitely tell he's not happy because he's got the flashes going.
Well, by that being said, can we have another look at that, please, Adam? And just freeze it for me at the point of contact, and let's see how far up the inside Gardner was. Was he close enough? Here's Bullock around the outside of Rogers. This will be for the inside at Spoon. No, not to be. First time he's had to do a comms DQ on. We've been here 6.5 years. Brilliant. Let's have a look at it again. Let's have a look at that point of contact. Yeah, you'd argue. See, that's the thing. Gardner's certainly not far enough up on the inside, so I can understand why Wakefield is blowing up at that particular point in time, Dave. Arguably breaking markers and other things, sure, but Bullock has gone through to 12th possibly, looking at that replay, so Bullock through on, of course, Rogers at that particular point, the Acura, the only one in the field past the Mustang. And, some very interesting moments out there, some contentious stuff. JD Dent, the championship leader for Wild Ride there, 7th at the moment, +5. Troy Mortensen in tow. I don't know what to make of all of that. If that was you, Dave, how would you adjudicate on that? I know I certainly know how I feel about it. There's something to be said about being on the inside, going a little bit more forceful and deeper and aggressive under brakes, but I don't think at that particular point of the Suzuka circuit you can be having that conversation.
Yeah, definitely not. There's a couple corners like that around here that you definitely, as much as you would love to get the nose up there, it's definitely that corner, and you're going into 180R is definitely not the corners around here that you want to be doing that with such high speed. Just a little tap, little bump can, unfortunately, as we saw, and very poorly.
No. For every little moment there's been tonight, for every moment of cars tripping up on their own, drivers coming unstuck based on hitting the wrong bit of the ripple strip or lighting the tyres up, cold rubber, etc. There have been a couple of moments where there has been car-to-car contact. So, again, busy night for Tommy. And Harrison Rayner, unsurprisingly, will be getting a second invoice in the form of a pit lane penalty, having eclipsed the incident point limit so early in the piece. We're only on lap, he's on lap 17. Everybody else has started lap 18. And we are 35 3/4 minutes in. And Rayner serves a drive-through penalty.
Yeah,
just to add insult to injury, Dave.
Yeah, he's going to have to go down for that 18-20 second lane there and, wave at his crew again. And, not ideal, especially with the night that he's had so far.
This battle pack there, Timmy Watson in 10th, fending off Steve Daniels at the moment. No, actually, no, sorry. Trying to get past Christian Koch, the HGS Racing entry. That's the Ford Mustang in 9th and the McLaren in 10th. And speaking of which, Porsche, Ford, BMW 1, 2, 3, McLaren in 5th, Ferrari in 7th, 5 different manufacturers in the top 10 at the moment. Just outside of that, you've got an Aston and a Acura, 11th and 12th. And you've got to go down to Kevin Wakefield in 17th in the Chev, and Riley Dees in 18th in the Mercedes, and of course Harrison Rayner in 20th in the Lambo at the moment. So yeah, it's interesting, makes for good reading. 6 different manufacturers in the top 10 at the moment. I think I said 5, I apologise, I've tripped up. Porsche, Ford, Bimmer, McLaren, Ferrari, and Ford. No, Ford I've got, hang on, I've mucked myself up early here. McLaren, Ford, Porsche, Ferrari, Bimmer. No, that is 5. That is 5. I'm just trying to work out how I got the 10 manufacturers in the race then, if that was the case. Oh, that's right. There's Aston, Acura, Chev, Mercedes and Lambo all outside the 10 at the moment. So yes, there are still 10 different manufacturers in the race, 5 in the top 10 and 5 outside. Only 1 representative of Acura and 1 for Aston Martin, 1 for Mercedes, 1 for Lambo. Geez, talk about soul assassins, Adam.
And 1 in race control.
Yes, and the Audi in race control, that's right. We haven't had to deploy as a safety car yet either, which is good news. Martin Davis, Luke Vega. Actually, there's an idea. There's an idea for future reference. Why don't we just put race control in the RC car, in the safety car, if needs be?
Because chances are they need that cool down time to actually look at the incidents. They can't do that while they're driving around.
Now that would be amusing. Have them adjudicate whilst they've got control of the field. That'd be funny. And they said we couldn't multitask. I'll tell you something I'm disappointed about too, fellas. And if Ollie McGlansbury's still tuning in, he'll know too. You know I love my cricket. So to see that test match between Australia and Bangladesh all over in a day and 2/3, not good enough. Really not good enough. Tim Watson down the inside of Tristan Koch. Got him. Koch will get the run on the extra throw. Back up on the inside. Koch will go back to 9th. The duel continues. Troy Mortensen, no further action for the incident with JD Dent on lap 14. So that's an interesting one because Dent has ended up back in 7th place. And they are 11 seconds off Mitch Cherry at the moment. So probably the best the championship leader can hope for at the moment is 7th tonight. Based on those numbers, up the hill we go. Black flag now for Kevin Wakefield as well. So he's got an incident point penalty or a speeding penalty of some kind to serve there, a stop and hold penalty maybe. Remo kind of the pit lane, the last of the stops, the first of the leaders to stop last. And here's another moment. Mortensen and Dent. Mortensen has got through, and this is the incident that led to the redress. But more than that, whoa, geez. Come on, boys. Tidy it up. And Dent and O'Connor to pit lane now to complete their second stop. Colgan was off the road there momentarily. He's back on. Samuel was back on pit lane. Rayner's been on pit lane for 3 minutes almost. So there's a lot happening out there in a very short period of time, but we're finally into that second round of stops, Dave.
Yeah, I was just looking at the battle for first and second here between Martin and Luke. A couple laps ago, they weren't really fighting each other, and they were kind of into that. They'd done like a 2 minutes 1.8 and a 2 minutes dead, but now they've like caught right back up. They're like right on each other, and they're actually costing each other time here because their last probably 3 laps have been in the 203s. And Colin, who changed tyres in that first stop, had dropped back to like 7 seconds, and is now teetering nearly into that 4 to 5 second range. Oh, JD Dent has had a...
Yep. Oh no. This could be the end of the road for Dent. Let's have a look at this. And all on his lonesome. Bang.
He's just left the pit lane too, and
Yep.
he took tyres, so it's cold tyres.
Cold tyres again, really unfortunate. And
cold
that
tyres.
puts him in a vulnerable sort of position for the remainder of the race here, boys, because he's got to limp it home with damage. Otherwise, you've got to take an extra invoice, an extra transit down the lane. Meanwhile, Martin Davis and Luke Wagner. See, I told you Davis was flying under the radar. He did take less fuel at the first round of stopped a lap earlier and does only lead by 0.3 of a second. But if he hits his markers right at the second stop, there's nothing to stop him from being in contention here. Against Wagner, they've gapped Colin Bennett. Bennett's the one that's been left behind here, Adam. It looks as though it's a race between Porsche and Ford.
Yeah, Colin Bennett dropped about 6.5, 7 seconds back with those cold tyres. He's got it back down to 4.5 to 5 seconds, so he's on the comeback. But it's a matter of whether he's going to have enough juice in this next and final stint to reclose that gap and get back in this fight.
Yeah,
just a reminder, folks. Go for it, Dave.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was just going to say, like, yeah, these laps where the top two have been fighting, he had been setting the fastest laps on for that lap for everyone, and that's only just been pipped recently. This last lap by Blaine Bullock, who's in the 8th spot.
Indeed, he is. I just wanted to point out too, had fun racing, but so unlucky, says Harrison Rona. Well, there was a fair bit of unluckiness attached to your night, my friend. I'm sure Race Control's probably caught up with you already. I've hit the push to talk instead of the pit limiter. That was what tripped him up with the penalty just now. Rough night A for the incidents that you got caught up in on track. B, then to trip yourself up by pushing the wrong button. I know what it's like to push the wrong and right buttons. Just ask me. It's been a bit like that daily for the last 2 weeks. Down on the pit road comes Martin Davis. That was expected that he would come in earlier than Luke Wagner and also Colin Bennett. Ford leads BMW. Martin Davis on pit road. Tom Pritchard there in fourth spot. Don't forget, folks, later this week, Bimmers and Supercars. Wednesday night, Bimmers from right here at Suzuka. Thursday night, Formula V from Willow Springs. That is compulsory viewing. Porsches from Imola. Friday night, the IndyCar series comes your way from the Milwaukee Miles. So we're very excited about all that. Davis and Cherry back out onto the racetrack. Excuse me, this battle continues between Brian Bullock and, actually, Tristan Koch, but they're on the pit road. They're on the pit road.
So yeah, just as a reference, Martin Davis, his actual box time was a record of roughly around that 8-second mark. So it'd be interesting to see if Colin Bennett's one, he could actually end up potentially to 4 or 5 seconds there. So, Colin could actually be back in this. So it'd be interesting to see how it shakes out in the next couple of laps.
Bosch and Rogers. Koch has been stationary for 22.7 seconds. Now he goes.
He's taken 4 tyres. It's going to be like he's got only 15 minutes left in the race. He's on cold tyres now. This is going to be a gamble worth taking. And also,
gets you opening up ahead for Tristan Koch.
Yeah, and also you were speculating Jack Dent did take his 3rd spot to get the fast man.
I'm not surprised. Oh boy, Colin is all about the comeback. We're talking about Colin Bennett. He's 4.6 seconds in arrears.
Look how tentative he is.
It's going to be a very sketchy sort of tippy-toe sort of outlap for Tristan Koch. Wagner, Bennett, then Pritchard, Davis, Mortensen, Daniels, Cherry, O'Connor, Watson, Harvey and Bullock, the top 11 at the moment. Field not yet cleansed. We've still got to see Wagner, Bennett, Pritchard, Mortensen, Daniels and Harvey and Gardner on pit road a second time.
Yeah, that last lap was the first time that Luke Wagner had actually been quicker than Colin Bennett probably the last half a dozen laps. So he's kind of now that Martin's pitted, he's got his head down, and we see how it goes in the next few laps.
Indeed. There's Steve Daniels coming to pit lane right now. In the meanwhile, Gardner under relentless pressure here from Barry Punter, who opens the door for himself on the inside up the back straight towards 130R, and Punter is going to 12. Covered off Gardner beautifully before they even got to 130R, and Barry's comeback continues.
Yeah, that was sort of actually a bit lucky for Barry there, because he actually got the grass and the entry to Spoon, had a very hairy moment at the first part of Spoon, which slowed him up. But then in his favour, Gardner actually blew the second half of Spoon, went wide on the exit, which gave Barry the run.
Down the main straight we go, and so far so good. In this third and final stint of the race, Wegener is. I think we're only going 23 laps tonight, gentlemen.
We're on 23 laps.
No, sorry, not 23. No, sorry, 29. Yeah, no, sorry, I looked at where we're up to. I was trying to carry the number, but I've just read what was on the screen. Yeah, I think we're only going 29. The maths just not adding up for us to get, especially with an extra pit stop to come, to get that 30th lap in. So we're on 23. We've just completed that. We started 24. 6 to go for Wegener, but he still has to stop. So does Bennett. So does Pritchard. Davis the best place of anyone to have stopped so far, and we're keeping an eager eye on him because we know he's flying under the radar to try and get Porsche to the top of the summit tonight.
He's a
Gardner, Hassling, Hunter for 12.
He's a challenge for his accumulator. If you think if you think these guys are only going to be just short of the 30 lap mark, how many of the 4 splits do you think will get 30 laps?
Oh, okay. Right, so that's where we're going tonight, is it? Okay. I will back Platinum in. I reckon I'll back Platinum in, and I reckon that's about it. I reckon we back Platinum in, just play it safe, but with at least one. Put a maybe on gold, but I reckon silver and bronze go 29.
Keep an eye on the results when we get to it.
You can let me know. But seriously, what a stitch up. The only one, I reckon.
I was going to say, Colin's got the gap down to Luke down to about 3 seconds here. So yeah, this is going to get a little spicy at the end here.
We like spicy. We don't mind spicy at all. It's Gardner going to pit lane. Colin Bennett in second place at the moment. So you're right, the comeback's on. 3 seconds. Can he reel it in on Wegener? Remembering that he's still got to stop. Pritchard is 12 seconds away. We're putting a line through the McLaren at the moment. Davis, the one that we've got to keep an eye on, 25 seconds behind these guys right now. But we know this is going to be a short stop, Adam.
And in theory, Colin's already taken tyres, so he's going to be less likely to take tyres, especially with only 10 minutes left in the race. Wegener might take some tyres, but he may just try and get in now with only 10 minutes to go. So it'll be interesting to see how this pit stop plays out.
Tommy Cole reckons he's got to go back and revisit some of the tape now based on what we've been talking about. Maybe there's a few technical gremlins within the server. Well, it wouldn't be the first time.
It's kind of looking roughly down at for the shorter of the second stops so far, and Tim Watson's had about a 4.5-5 second stop, which is one of the shorter of the guys that have 2 stops. So that's, potentially with Luke and Colin going as long as they are now, they could be in that, potential that 3 to 4 second stop range, depending, if how much they've been. You never know around here. You can save a little bit. So yeah, see what happens.
So not much to see here really, apart from obviously a disappointing result for the championship leader Jack Dent. The reality of the matter is, it's pleasing to see a BMW back towards the pointy end. The Mustangs have been a dominant force in GT3 racing all season, so the more things change, the more they tend to stay the same, Dave, but we are on the cusp of that second and critical final round of stops. right on the edge of the fuel window there, with it being 51 minutes into proceedings.
Yeah, with eight and a half minutes to go, yeah, they would have to be looking at stopping surely within the next lap or two, especially with the compulsory second stop. So yeah, it's going to be close, and Colin's got it down to under 2 seconds now. Oh, as Luke dives into the lane.
And Tommy Cole's comment there has made me realise I've stitched you up even more, Zach, because some of those splits might be actually wet. They'll have even less than 29 laps.
That's true. That's true. That's very true. If it okay, so if it's dry, we're saying 30 laps, but if it's wet, then yeah, forget about that. Absolutely. And
No
there
tyres for Luke.
was an outside chance of that being the case, as you say. It was only about 30%, wasn't it? So that means that we're either going to get 1 or 2 splits at the most, probably get a little bit of precipitation. But here it's been blown bloody dry from the start of Martin Davis to go to third on Luke Wegener. And that's important because Wegener was the effective leader. Davis has managed to cover him off with the undercut. Oh, look at this. And now the gloves are off. The battle is on for race honours here in GT3 bronze. Wowee. Bennett leads Pritchard by 15. He's 23 clear of these guys. Game on in the final few laps. 7 minutes to go, 4 laps.
So Luke's box time there was probably around, like for me, from my calculations, it was about 6.4, 6.5 seconds. Martin's was 7.7, and with Colin going even longer, he could, potentially be in that 4-5 second range, and he had got within a second and a half of Colin here. So expect to probably see Colin come out side by side with these guys, as we just saw these guys going into turn 1.
Martin Davis holds sway. Can he get that advantage up beyond a second? Out beyond a second. 6 minutes to go. 3 laps at the line. When does Bennett come to pit lane? Now. Bennett is on pit road. Pritchard should follow. That will be the field cleansed second time through.
Come on, Beamer.
Let's go. Pritchard is on pit road. Yes. Let's go. Main straight. 3 to go. Bennett's on the jacks.
7.7.
And off. 7.7 seconds.
Exactly the same. Basically,
nothing in it.
Basically the exact same time as Wagner. There he is.
Although he's come out in third. He's come out in third. Wowee. It's only a second, the deficit.
Yeah,
1.5 seconds covers the top 3, Dave. We've finally got a GT3 race with some substance about it this deep in the piece.
Yeah, it was wasn't as short a stop as I thought there. So
it's a really good lap.
Yeah, it's well, hey, he's a lot closer than he was with these two guys when he dropped back to that 7 seconds behind. So he's definitely got the pace there, and let's see what he can do in the final 5 minutes.
Liam O'Connor is there in 6th, all over the back of Mitchell Cherry like a cheap suit. So everywhere you look, you got Fords and Bimmers arguing over the same piece of real estate. You've got a Porsche leading the way, a McLaren in 4th. 2 Porsches, 2 McLarens, 2 Fords, 2 Bimmers in the top 8. And then in the top 10, you've got an Acura and an Aston and a Ferrari just outside in Barry Punter. So look at that, 7 different manufacturers in the top 11. Really lonely night for Riley Dees and the Mercedes down in 18th. Kevin Wakefield and Greg Compton nothing to write home about for the Chev duo. Lorena Lambo done and dusted after 17 laps. Not going to be classified on 75% race distance. Lap 27 for Martin Davis. 2 to go at the line. Wegener the fastest of the race, 2 minute 1.836. What has Wegener got left in the tank for Davis? Has he got something left to give? Can he find a way through? And what will Bennett bring to the table? Oh, no! I thought he was a little bit too deep under brakes there. I thought he was going to clean up Wegener. He didn't, thankfully. Game on, play on, final 2 laps, let's go. A little bit of overtime awaits us. Actually, a good solid 3/4 of a minute of overtime by the looks of this. Or at least half a minute. Hedge your bets, Dave. Who's your money with at this particular point? Mine's with Martin Davis, and I said that back in about the 10th minute of play.
Yeah, if he keeps on how he's going, he's looks like he'll has a good chance of bringing it home. It's just going to be a matter of you know, who comes second, especially with the pace that Colin has. But I think he just has to, you know, just get his focus in, because I think he's just definitely you know, got the red mist down and he's overdriving a little bit. But you know, hopefully he might be able to just, you know, potentially get past Luke here. But yeah,
Steve Daniels Jr. Steve Daniels Jr. just came in for his last stop, and unfortunately he's got a black flag on entry.
Oh, jeez. So that's unlucky for him. That rubs him out. And also before that, Mitchell Cherry had got by, Tristan Koch had got by, Barry Punter had got by. Barry Punter's moved up to 9th.
Oh, actually, correction. Stephen came in for an incident point limit drive-through.
Copy. Drops back to 12th. So now at the expense of... Hang on, what's just going on here? Hang on. Mitch Cherry's the one that's missed out. He's dropped down to 10th at the expense of Brian Bullock and Barry Punter. My race went so well, even race control wants to watch it, says Harrison Rayner. Yeah, that's fair. Yep. I'll agree with that. It's Colin Bennett on the limit through 130R. White flag flies at the line. Let's go. One more time around at Suzuka. And still anyone's ball game. Davis, Wegener and Bennett arguing over first, second and third. And with a view to championship implications as well. Particularly for Martin Davis. The other two aren't in championship consideration at the moment. Wegener's about 24 points behind Davis, so probably important enough for him to keep for Wegener to keep Bennett at bay. But he needs to find a way by Davis.
Yeah, the nerves will be getting to Martin here. It's just, especially with the looming presence and sound of that the Mustang and the Beamer there. He had a bit of a gap. He kind of created a little bit of a gap about this point last lap while the other two were semi-fighting, but they were able to bring it back here. So let's see how it goes for the last half of the last half.
They're 5th and 6th of the championship at the moment. Here we go. Bennett, watch this on the inside. This is for second, around the outside. Hang it, go, send it down the inside, dive, deep, go. Brilliant from Bennett to second. Wegener back to third. Davis now with the breathing space he needs to go and convert the victory. And he was third in the points race by 17 points to JD coming into the night. Mortensen hasn't had a night to write home about. He's down in 6th there. He was 4th. 4:39 for Wegener, 4:38 for Bennett. That swap around worked to Colin, but he's wide. He's going to be vulnerable at 130R. Let's go. Martin Davis is going to put Porsche on top at Suzuka. And for Martin, it will be his first race win of the season, but his second round win here in GT3 bronze. To the last turn we go, to the Castillo Triangle, and Martin Davis has got the job done at Suzuka. Beautifully done. Executed precisely. From 6th on the grid to victory. Bennett holds off Wegener in the battle for second. Bennett finishes exactly where he started. Wegener edged out. The Mustang comes home third. Their championship fight well and truly alive, especially with JD Dent, Liam O'Connor, and also Troy Mortensen finishing off the podium. They were all in the mix there. The top 6 were covered by 42 going into the night. It'll be interesting to see what the margin looks like going out. Pritchard in for 4th, O'Connor 5th, Mortensen held off, Watson, Bullock, then Cherry under pressure from Koch. Watch this. Koch with the full send at 130R. Too far back to have a crack. And also, the defence work from Cherry was brilliant. they'll come home in that order. Cherry in for 9th. Kosh 10th. Kosh with a late lunge. No.
Yeah, you always want to hug the wall there. You never know if the other guy goes wide and has a bit of a lose there. You might be able to snag a spot at the line.
That racing was phenomenal. I must say, that was really good stuff.
Oh, JD through 180.
Around the outside to go 15th, if you don't mind. So a night that he'll be happy to forget. He had to stop 3 times as well because of that late race incident to repair some damage, but to get 15th at the line over Wayne Gardner, that was very nicely done. Commitment plus, it was either win it or bin it. He chose to win it. So 15th to Dent, 14th to Harvey, Aidan Rogers 13th, Barry Punter 12th, Steve Daniels 11th, Tristan Kosh held on for a top 10 finish. There were 6 different manufacturers in the top 10. And, 5 different manufacturers, I should say, in the top 10. 3 Fords, 2 McLarens, 2 Porsches, 2 Bimmers, and 1 sole Acura. A former Brian Bullock who recovered after being last on the opening lap to come back and finish 8th. Steve Daniels was 11th, Barry Punter, Aidan Rogers, Steve Harvey, Jack Dent, then Wayne Gardner, Riley Dees, Luke Samuel, Kevin Wakefield all finished a lap down. Greg Colgan finished 2 laps down. Harrison Rayner and Jason Letherby, 1 a DNF and 1 an exclusion. A DQ, sent packing for an early shower. All those other superlatives. Are we? What about that? Now, we get stuck into a post-race show that promises plenty of entertainment and excitement and interest because Jacob McIntyre's come up here to have a chat to us. I think we need to speak more to him about Kota than we do Suzuka. And he knows what I mean when I say that. We'll get to that very shortly. There are the results on your screen. Winning margin 1.2, top 3 covered by 1.6. Hey, Dave, I mean, not as frenetic and relentless as what you've come to expect from the GT3 Gold or Platinum splits, but I tell you what, they put on an all right show. There are a couple of little lulls in proceedings, but enough action throughout to keep it lively.
Yeah, the first first part and the last part were like really entertaining there with the top 3 and those other few battles. Obviously, you had a bit of your strategy mix in the middle there, but yeah, it was great to see such a tight finish there, and good to even see drivers like Brian Bullock, he happened to lose it in that first lap there, dropped to the back, and he's come home an incredible 8th. So probably not the ultimate kind of result Brian would want there with the pace that he had in qualifying, but great to see him finish 8th. I know, yeah, he lost 5 spots, but to even finish in the top 10 after facing backwards at turn 2, turn 3 there on lap 1 is you'd take that every day.
Absolutely. Some results for you from the other split. So we're going to do this first. Excellent. Lovely. So Harry Dambrinker through quali, back on top where he belongs in Waste Options GT3 Platinum, ahead of Philip Worley, Bo Cubis, Richard Mitchum and Sam Blacklock. And then Shane Clancy, Jonas Deggan, Alex Barrelon, Nick Wood and Leo Dreyer, the South African, rounding out the top 10 in qualifying. Top 10 covered by pretty much bang on a second, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't mind. Then we go into race results. Bo Cubis getting the job done. Where's Harry? Oh, no. Oh, no. Uh-oh. No Harry Dambrinker in that top 10. Right, and there's one. There's one, Adam. There's one. We got to 30 there. Bo Cubis took us all the way to 30. They were in the 1:59.2s. Richard Mitchum. Philip Worley. So that's a win for those running a BMW, isn't he? That's a win for BMW. Richard Mitchum, Philip Worley, Alex Barrelon, Michael Whiting, Alan Dawson. Yes, it is. Jeff Adams, Nick Wood, Shane Clancy and Daniel Cheney. The top 10 there. The Suzuka Circuit, Dane Snadden, Ryan Jones, then Jason Wilkinson, Leo Dreyer, Tim Miles, BF Young, Jonas Deggan, John Wright, James McKnight, Damien McBay, Austin Edwards and Harry Dambrinker down 2 laps. My goodness. Right, there's a story there because that really spices things up in the Platinum split because Dambrinker had the lead in the championship coming into that round. But I'll tell you what, he'll be vulnerable now on the back of a strong result for Richard Mitchum. Are you kidding me? Oh, no, sorry, that's the warm-up results. Sorry. Qualifying results. Robert, I was going to say, that's a funny-looking qualifying sheet. Robert Brouard on top. This is the gold split for you, folks, from Chris Miller. Then David Kirby, who's just joined us, actually. Jacob Miller, Brett Wardby, Travis Azzopardi, Bradley Curtin, Scott Barcher, Matthew Gerrard, and Matt Cherry, the top 10. Where'd they go? Oh, they got to 30 as well. There you go. All right. So two splits got to 30 laps, and I'll hazard to guess that 2 got to 29. So no rain in that top split. And look who's got let's have a look at this. D. Kirby finally breaks through, finally rises to the top step of the summit, and of course he does it when we're not on broadcast. We'll get back to that. There, yeah, I know, at 0.161, so he's done it by a bee's proverbial. And Robert Brouard was only 7/10 of a second away. Matty Gerrard was not too far away either.
Three-way across the line there with those boys. Look out.
Pretty much, even with top 5 is like, within 2 seconds.
And that's rare that you see that in GT3 racing. And furthermore, a complete invert of the top 3 from where they qualified to where they finished. 3 to 1, 1 to 3, and 2 in the middle. So there you go. Brett Wadby was 5th, Daniel Piper, then Doug Gowans, Paul Wood, then Scott Barchin and Jacob Miller. Top 10 within 10 seconds. Wowee. GT3 Gold deliver the goods. And they got to 30 laps as well, so that's important to note. Kirby led 23 of those, and Brouard led 4. And hope you enjoyed that. I'm sure we'll hear more about that from the Mustang pilot in just a few moments. He is standing by to have a chat with us. The quality results from the silver split saw Andrew Franklin on top, and that was from Lachlan Shinkfield, Nathan Harvey, Jordan Dakin, John Akers, Liam Amos, Stephen Gallacher, Alan McDonald, Neil De Bruin, and Mitchell Buckman, the top 10. Please tell me they got some rain. Please tell me they got some rain. Race? Yes, they did. No, they did. No, they didn't. No, but they did get 29. So 2 and 2 down the middle. 2 and 2 splits for that 30-lap threshold. Yeah, very nicely done. As I said, gold was the maybe. Gold was the one that I wasn't sure of. I was confident that silver would only get to 29, and platinum would get to 30. Silver was the one that could have gone either way, depending upon the weather. So 2 and 2 ain't bad. Andrew Franklin from Nathan Harvey, John Akers, Jacob McIntyre, Stephen Gallacher. Then Edward Rollo, Neil De Bruin, Greg Heaney, Joel Hansen and Scott Smith. So what you're telling me, Adam, is that we've had that 5-minute warm-up for absolutely no reason at all.
Well, there's a chance, because obviously the track's dry. So there may have been some of the splits that had some puddles or a little bit of dampness at the start, but looks like none of them had like a wet weather tyre start potentially. They might have had a bit of a sketchy start, but none of them had a full wet start, would be my guess, given they've all got 29 or 30 laps.
All right, very nicely done. Hey, congratulations to all and sundry there. That's a great result for all our winners across the board. What quality is that, says Tommy Cole. Yeah, I think we'll look at it. No, what happened there, Tom? I don't know if you saw it, but for about 3 seconds, Adam had the warm-up results up on the screen, and I was like, hang on. I was looking at the results sheet without realising that it was on the warm-up screen, not the quality screen. So that's all good. And, well, geez, doesn't look like too many people are in the mood to have a chat tonight. Where is everybody?
Hello.
Mr. Kirby's in the house. Well, of course, when you have a race win, I would expect you to do nothing less than turn up and have a chat about it. And to the victor goes the spoils, mate. So well done to you. And Jacob McIntyre, we've got a couple of questions that we probably need to ask you as well, but we'll get to that very shortly. Stay there with me. Hey, Curbs, well done. And it's funny because only a few hours earlier, you were a little bit disappointed to learn that the bronze split was going to be on broadcast and gold wasn't. And by the looks of it, gold was an absolute belter.
No, I was only having a laugh. No, it's good to see that all 4 splits get their broadcast time, so it was good. But just a little bit of info on those gaps at the end. I was coughing over the line, so that's why it sort of brought everything back nice and close. And I had a 0x, and then got hit after the line, so a bit of a bummer.
Absolutely, but I tell you what, I'm glad it only went 30 laps then, because if it had gone 31, everyone would have been in trouble.
Mate, I was lifting and coasting that lap the entire time just so I could get home because I knew I was short. So it was touch and go all the way, but we got there in the end just.
Yes, Tommy Cole just advising us that he has directed some people towards the broadcast booth to come and have a chat. It's up to them if they want to. If they don't, then that's fine. We won't say no to an early mark. I've got things to do. I'm sure Dave Oliver and Adam Lavis do as well. In fact, Lavis is just happy to have a Monday night where he hasn't got a 4 a.m. alarm. Let's...
Lucky for him.
Yeah.
Actually, I was just a quick question from a resident fuel saver to Mr. Kirby here. How far ahead were you going into that last lap, and how much did you kind of reckon you had to save in that last lap there?
I think I was about 3.5, maybe 4 seconds in front of Robert, and then I don't know what the gap was there in the end, but Chris came up behind me, and I'm like, no, I'll make it, and he sort of went to give me a nudge over the line just after I crossed the line and just clipped my rear and gave me a 4x to ruin my 0x, so bit of a shame. Bonus points would have been handy.
And it's funny that you talk about the fuel saving as well, and Oliver, of course, being a great exponent of that. You can tell well where to slide at this particular point in time, David, if you like. If you can see the comments.
We'll go away.
Thank you. At least he'll do it politely. I won't to a point. Now, let's talk about the fuel save factor, right? Because, and Dave, this is an interesting point that I'll get you to weigh in on as well, and Adam as well, because Adam knows a lot about this too. Sorry, Jacob, we'll get to you very shortly. But the reality of the matter is, boys, iRacing have done everything within their power to make it near on impossible for you guys to do it, yet you still find a way. Just talk to me about the challenges associated, and I want all three of you to weigh in on this. The challenges associated with adapting to all the little, obstacles and hurdles that iRacing throw in your way. Because once upon a time, it used to be a sort of easy craft to master, and some of you would just take the piss with it. But right now, yeah, exactly. You included Oliver and Chapo as well. But really, to be fair, they've gone about trying to make it as difficult as possible, almost trying to deter you or eliminate it from racecraft, but you still find a way. Start with you, David. How have you found the challenge of being able to go about still finding a way to save some juice along the way with iRacing throwing these little clamps and anchors in your direction?
I guess, obviously coming from the supercar, that was quite easy to fuel save because you could just clutch, quite easily. I believe a few seasons ago, or quite a few seasons ago, they removed the clutch option from GT cars. I wasn't racing them then at the time, so it was sort of hard to know, but now it's just a case of, just lift and coast into corners, brake a little bit later, and everything like that. But fuel saving in these, I haven't done a lot of, to be honest, but obviously had to do some tonight at the end. Didn't play it very well up to that last lap, but I'm just happy to get across the line at the end. In the end.
Dave, from your standpoint, how do you go about it these days?
One moment, Alaska, daughter, go away.
No, jeez. So this is the sort of serial pest that Will Buchanan's becoming, folks, right? So, in the sense
he's still the favourite son-in-law, but still, go away.
He's now got your kids in on the mix. How good? What the hell? All right, so very nicely done. Let me get back to normal programming and go back to Dave Oliver.
That's actually pretty funny. I think, obviously, from what Dave was saying, a few seasons ago, they disabled the clutch, being able to engage over, I think it's about 70-80k an hour. So when you're low speed, you can use it, but obviously you're not really going that slow a lot of the time. But even then, they used to have the fuel mappings too, a little bit like the IndyCar and stuff like that. So that kind of worked, kind of didn't. But between that and being able to clutch at any speed, like you used to be able to, you could even, like, depending on, say, your steering wheel, you could have it as a secondary clutch. So you could, easily just clutch in and just be able to carry speed, and which helped because you weren't actually slowing down like a mechanical like with lift and coasting. So yeah, it's obviously they've tried to put a stop to it, but at least we've still got the lift and coast there. It's obviously it's a bit of an art form, but once you kind of get used to it, it does help. But yeah, none of this saving heaps of fuel like we used to be able to, like myself and Denchi and Adam used to be able to.
Ah, okay, so Den Brinker's had some issues of the technical variety. How many of them have we had this season? I've lost count. And that's exactly why his night went down the toilet pretty quickly. We all finally disconnected after getting back to pits P11 with 2 laps left. And that was it for Harry, unfortunately. And then the brake failed, and yeah, everything else kind of just fell by the wayside by that point. That's really frustrating for you. Adam, your tricks to getting around iRacing's constant, changing of the guard with regards to what you can and can't do to try and save some juice?
It depends on what car you're in. Obviously, you've got the ones with the clutch restrictions. Obviously, you're basically limited to the lifting and coasting situation. That's your main strap. But there is like technique and knowing where to lift and how deep to brake and maximising your corner speeds and that sort of thing. And it's one of those things, like there's a point you can get to when if you do become good with the lift and coast strap, there's a sort of there's a little first sort of stage of lift and coast, we'll say. So like when you're doing sort of light lift and coast, sometimes you can go even faster than when you're pushing, just because you're looking after your tyres more and you're not pushing the corners and making mistakes as much. So sometimes you actually find yourself just get a little bit faster and save fuel on that first stage. But if you do need to save a lot of fuel, obviously you're going to start bleeding time, and it's just a matter of trying to balance that out. But then you got other cars still, like the Indy cars, still got the fuel maps. So you still got all your toys there to play with. So you got fuel maps, lifting and coasting, and just all the little extra things. The clutch still works in that as well. So basically the sim has a full spectrum. It just depends with the GT3s. They got the GT3s in the Porsche Cup. They have the most restrictions, given that clutch is gone and there's no fuel mapping or anything like that. So you've only got the one real main technique, and it's just a matter of how good you are at applying that technique.
All right, very nice insights there from 3 of the best in the business as far as the club and also the fuel save element are concerned. We've seen it work for both D. Oliver and Adam Lavis on many occasions in the past. Tonight it worked for D. Kirby. Speaking of you, Mr. Kirby.
What also helps is having a good fuel calculator to give yourself a bit of heads up of how much you're going to save or whether you think you can save. So you're going to also have enough information on board to then work out whether the fuel save is going to be the way to go.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly right.
I've got a live fuel data on the screen as an overlay, so it's telling you exactly how many minutes, seconds of fuel you've got compared to race, laps, and everything like that. So it comes in handy, but I just wasn't keeping too much of an eye on it tonight, unfortunately.
And that's the point as well. Dave, we've said before, we've sat here, we've spoken to you, and we've weighed up. Was there any point in going about the fuel save when you look at the overall picture? You've got to weigh up the time gained versus the time lost, and 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Sometimes it works firmly in your favour, and then sometimes it leaves you further on the back foot than what you started.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to, obviously, it's risk versus reward, really, isn't it? So, yeah. You got to make sure that obviously, and like Adam was saying, you got to do it in a way where you can actually, and even through the race, I was sort of lifting a little bit as well, and I was then pulling away from those behind me while saving fuel, but also, taking the corners smoother, not overdriving the car and not pushing, and then you go, I can go quicker here, and then you start pushing again, and then you come into that fuel problem. But if you start saving too much, then you're just going to bleed time, and it's not worth it.
Anything to add to that, Dave Oliver?
No, it's pretty much right. Other than as you've seen over the last couple of years, I've had the polar extremes where it has worked and it has failed absolutely miserably.
And that's what I was referencing.
Even on broadcast. So, and then sometimes you just wanting to save just to be able to say I can say it, it can be saved. So, and it still failed, but it's always a bit of fun, and it's just most of the time. But yeah, it's when it works well, it's pretty cool.
Getting to Jacob McIntyre and Colin Bennett in just a few moments, boys. Thanks for stopping on by. Dave Kirby, to finish with you. Let's look ahead, because I'm looking through your results sheet throughout the course of this season. 3/3, a second, and now finally a second race win to go with 2 round wins. So it's been a while between drinks. Virginia was the last time you saluted the judges and saw the checkered flag first. Pleasing to do it at the business end of this season and maybe make a final push or start a final push to fight against Woodsy and also Daniel Piper for championship supremacy, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really still kicking myself over Le Mans. I threw away an absolute bucket load of points there, but trying to claw my way back in and just trying to be consistent and try and rack up those bonus points the best I can where I can. So if I can do that, 2 rounds to go, I'll get another sprint race, reverse grid next week, and then obviously off to the mountain to finish. So looking forward to those 2 races and see where it all shakes out in the end.
So obviously I have to ask, which of those 2 is your best chance of putting points on the board? We know that Bathurst will bring with it a couple of Johnny Come Latelys to the fold, a couple of guys with nothing to lose as far as, they're not fighting for title supremacy or anything like that. They can throw caution to the wind. Next week, the Red Bull Ring, we know what a good slipstreaming circuit that is. We know how difficult racing will be around there. Strategy is going to play a role in the invert part of the night. Which round are you fearing more at this particular point in time?
Both. Well, I haven't turned a lap at the ring, so that'll be interesting. So that'll be
I want to do something about that. Yes.
Yeah, another learning curve. Oh, look, just like this week, I hadn't turned a lap in a GT3 around here, so I put in a bit of effort over the weekend to get the job done tonight. So we'll do it again for Red Bull next week. And as we know, there are Mount Panorama Bathurst specialists. Doesn't matter what car you're driving, what series you're driving in, there are guys there that just do laps and laps and laps around there. So that one there will be a case of just try and bank as many points as I can, keep it off the walls, keep it straight, shiny side up on the black stuff. So we'll 2 rounds to go, we'll see what happens.
Indeed we will. And of course, particularly important, I think it's important to note, you mentioned Le Mans a few moments ago. So critical that you avoid a repeat of that in the second enduro at Mount Panorama, but equally as difficult to stay out of trouble as what it can be at Le Mans as well.
Yeah, look, lap one across the top will be interesting. Cold tyres, especially coming down through over Skyline and coming down the hill. Going up won't be so bad if you can get through turns 1 and 2 and the cutting. Everything else should be pretty much straightforward. But if you're deep in the pack, if you qualify poorly, that's going to hurt you, I think, at the mountain. So really just next week, focus on next week, bag as many as we can, and then see what we need for the final round.
Very nicely done. As far as the competitive nature of that series is concerned, outside of the obvious, which is Daniel and Paul, the 2 ahead of you, who causes or who poses the real threat from those that are nipping at the heels of being where you are in the top 3 right now?
Oh, anybody and everybody can come out and absolutely have a banger of a night and a round, and then get something right in the setup where it clicks with them and they're just an absolute rocket. So I don't count anybody out. I think everybody has the opportunity, the same chance as anybody else to grab a win. Maybe Pianazola, as a party, Jacob Miller, I reckon Brad Coates, maybe Andrew Neal. You could throw obviously Woodsy and Piper as well. So, but then who comes out and who's going to come in those last 2 rounds, and sort of maybe try and throw a cat amongst the pigeons. So we'll see what happens. But look, I respect everybody. This season's been absolutely fantastic, and I've had to work for it. It has not been easy, that's for sure.
No, not at all. But that being said, my pit stop strategy did not work out. Says whatever that username equates to. Curbs, who would you like to thank, mate? A brilliant performance tonight, a race win, well done. The floor is yours.
Of course, obviously everybody at GSRC, everyone in Gold Split for putting on a good night's racing. Boys at Fishy Motorsports, Michael Angus Digital, Highland Esports, West End Motor Group, CLS Constructions North Queensland, and yeah, everybody else for tuning in and watching all the broadcasts, and well done to everybody in Platinum tonight as well. Oh, sorry, Bronze, that was on the split, on the broadcast.
Correct, mate, correct. Platinum in a couple of weeks' time. You guys, your feature next week will be on broadcast. Silver will lead us off. And by the way, I was part tempted when I saw the calendar come out earlier in the year, Curbs, to make the trip up to Central Queensland over the course of the weekend just gone. I'm kind of glad I didn't, because I would have then had to have replanned my entire itinerary for Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday.
That was a test match over already.
In Mackay, yeah, ended yesterday afternoon. A day and a half in, if you don't mind. Fair dinkum.
Oh, God.
What about that? Utter carnage. Mitch Stark tearing it to shreds. Very nicely done, mate. Hey, well done to you. Thanks for stopping on by. Go well for the rest of the week. We will see you next Monday night, as we say. We'll see you on broadcast for the feature race.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Bye.
There he is, David Kirby. Very nicely done. Phenomenal racing. Top 7 within 2 seconds of one another. That's sort of Formula V and XL margins. That's really good stuff. If they deliver anything like that when we get to the Red Bull Ring next week, you won't want to miss it, ladies and gentlemen. It'll be compulsory viewing on the platforms of the Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club. Righto, let's throw it around the room. David Kirby's still sitting here. David Oliver is still sitting here. Colin Bennett is here. Jacob McIntyre is here. David Kirby's just departed. We'll have championship points updates for you very shortly, folks. Jacob, please explain. I can't bring the footage back up, but suffice to say, Waste Options Formula Renault 3.5, a couple of moments.
Just a couple. Yeah, look, I wasn't meant to even run it tonight. I'm pretty burnt out from Daytona and St. Pete's this weekend. But my mates were like, nah, come on, do it. And I was like, okay, why not? And then my best mate, Michi Noble, is behind me. And he's like, I want to see some Yuki Tsunoda defense. So I did, and I cleaned him up. So I felt horrible about that. I was like, I'm so sorry, man. that was not on. But we both had a laugh. We were both laughing in the Discord when it happened. It was just utter shock from myself. That was crazy. I can't believe I did that. I'll be honest.
It wasn't too bad. I mean, we were having flashbacks to Lance Stroll in the real world, and I think at this point in time we actually thank our lucky stars that was a sim world incident rather than a real world.
Yeah, I mean, there would have been a death there. Let's be honest. That was brutal. I'm just thankful that was in the sim world too.
Absolutely. Hey, thanks for stopping on by, but do stay there. I'm coming back to you in a moment. I just wanted to get that one out of the ride and rip the Band-Aid off that as quickly as we could. We might pick up and pick apart the rest of the night with you in just a moment. Colin Bennett, welcome to you. And well done as well. Solid charge back through the field. Chased your tail. Had a bit of a deficit to claw back to both Martin Davis, Luke Wagner. Couldn't get by Davis. By the time you finished getting by Wagner, he'd given himself a nice little buffer and breathing space to play with. But second, that's a great result, finishing exactly where you started. Didn't go about it the easy way, but as I think Kirby will attest to, because he was talking about it there with regards to his own result in the gold split. You remember the ones that you have to work for just a little bit more, don't you?
Yeah, cheers, Zach. That was hard work, mate. That was real hard work. I can't believe Martin and Luke kept the tyres on the thing, because they didn't take tyres at all, I believe. So yeah, I thought I'd be able to just cruise past him in that last stint, but yeah, a bit harder than I thought.
So where were you at with regards to tyres? How many did you take and when did you take them?
I took 4 on the first stop.
Okay. Well, on reflection, would you have done it a different way and taken 4 on the second, or do you reckon that was the right call at the time?
No, I think 4 on the first because I lost about 6 seconds to Luke just trying to get him up to temperature.
And that was the tricky part of the first element of the race, wasn't it? Because we saw so many guys tripping up, spinning, slipping off the circuit. Cold tyres around here ended up being much more of a talking point than what they otherwise would normally be.
Yeah, I did a lot of practice on cold tyres. I ran a mini endurance around here in the BMW a couple of months back with Jason Tyman from the Platinum team, and we really struggled on cold tyres and with understeer. So I sort of knew going into tonight that it's a bit of a pig of a thing on cold tyres. So yeah, just take it a bit easy.
Now, talk to me about the overall race and the overall season, mate. I mean, we're looking at you, BMW. Oh, what a feeling. It's not the right manufacturer, but it seems like the only way to describe it because we've got 4 different manufacturers in the mix there at the moment, and you're right in the thick of it, representing BMW, and Mitchell Cherry's there in good support as well. You've kept yourself in title contention. That was a really important result tonight with a view to the opposition around you. I mean, Liam O'Connor and Troy Mortensen and also JD Dent, who finished well down the order. So it's tightened the points race up quite nicely. I guess you've got to bring more of that to the table, more of the same to the table over the next 2 weeks if you want to be on the podium.
Yeah, I've had a couple of bad results. Adelaide I was on for a second place, and the PC had a bit of a moment through the first chicane, and before I realised that I was in the wall, so needless to say there's been an upgrade since then. And yeah, I've had a couple of fairly rubbish races as far as my driving's gone, so tonight's really important, and I think we've got the Ring and Bathurst left.
The Red Bull Ring, yes, in Austria. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's a great track in a GT3. We'll just have to see how the BMW handles around there, because again, it does struggle with understeer at a lot of tracks.
And that's the point as well. How do you, knowing that as a distinct disadvantage of the race car and a trait of the race car, how do you go about trying to overcome that and work around that week in, week out? Because there'd be a lot of people that would be looking at that and thinking, well, we can't wait to turf this and jump into something that doesn't give us that much of a headache in any given week. But I mean, you can have that discussion in about 3 weeks' time when we're talking about term 4. How do you work about knowing that that's what you're up against? How do you go about combating it?
It's really good on the brakes, like really stable under brakes. So you can brake a little bit later and you can pull it up a little bit quicker than most other cars. So your entry's a little bit slower and your mid-corner's a little bit slower. But it also tends to look after the rear tyres, which also helps later in the stint.
From your standpoint, who are you most fearful of in terms of the points race? Who stands between you and the title as far as you're concerned? I mean, Martin was brilliant tonight, but then again, you had to work your backside off to get past Luke in the latter stages as well.
Yeah, look, I think anyone in that top 6. I think numerically we've all got a chance to win it, so it's just going to come down to who drives the best over the next couple of weeks and who gets some luck.
Bathurst, 90 minutes, extra points on the line. I guess I'd love to see from a standpoint of the BMW GT3 being my favourite thing to steer around on Gran Turismo on the PlayStation. From your standpoint, you'd be eyeing off a strong result there, but of the 2 circuits ahead, which is your strongest circuit as a driver? Not worried about the car right now, you as the driver.
Oh, Red Bull Ring, I am atrocious around Bathurst. It's just a track that I haven't had a lot of luck at yet. So, but I'm sure Morty and JT and Wade Sheedy will throw me into a few practice servers and bang me around the head, see if we can get some speed out of me.
With that in mind, I guess more onus on capitalising and putting some solid points on the board next week, despite the fact that if what you're saying's right and ballast is a bit of an anchor, it works against you, the fact that it's got extra weight to it with regards to points distribution.
Yeah, look, I think the key to Bathurst is just going to be survive that first couple of laps on cold tyres, try and stay out of any rubbish across the top, and just sort of slowly try and pick your way forward.
All right, very nicely done. Now, with that in mind, I was going to throw it to Dave Oliver, but he's muted at the moment, so I can't go to him because I know he was secretly cheering you on as a BMW driver when he's in GT3 as well. So we were both kind of riding that one home tonight, and we're glad that you were able to get by Luke Vega. But at what point did you know that move was on? Because it was only on the last lap, by which point, as we know, Martin had already shot through. And again, you were working with a bit of a deficit there. It wasn't as much as we might have expected it to be. There were a couple of moments there where we were hoping lap traffic wouldn't get in the way. They certainly did not. As you said, cold tyres tripped you up right there on screen right now. So that made the task even harder. But when did you know the move was on, and just how aggressive did you have to be with that? Because Suzuka isn't the easiest circuit in which to get an overtaking manoeuvre done.
I noticed Luke had been struggling coming out of a lot of the corners when he was behind me. He was getting fairly loose, so I was able to gain a couple of tenths here and there on him. That Mustang's just a rocket ship in a straight line though, so it's hard to pull away from it. But yeah, the moment we turned into that right hand before the hairpin, he sort of understeered and then he oversteered, and I thought I should be able to get a run on him here. And when he moved right to give me the inside, I couldn't believe it. So I just thought, he's left the door open, so we'll stick our nose in there and see if we can pull it up.
And pull it up, you were able to. Very nicely done. Speaking of next term, we're looking at the Bimmer now. Clearly, you've worked that car and you have worked really well together. Are you eyeing off something else, though, for term 4, or will you stay with the Bimmer?
Yeah, I'll probably stick with the Beamer. I used to really enjoy the Porsche, but that thing just tries to kill you in every high-speed corner.
That's it.
I can't get my head around the Mustang. It's just one of those cars I just can't figure out. Morty's still kicking himself for picking the Porsche over the Mustang because he's actually proper quick in the Mustang. But, yeah, I really enjoy the Lambo, but, yeah, a lot of people seem to pick it this season, so I'd like to be a little bit different.
That's fair. I mean, not necessarily in your split. There was only one Lambo runner there tonight, but more broadly, I see what you're saying, and I'm hearing you. Well done, mate. Great result tonight. Who would you like to thank?
Just all the boys from Platinum. Tommy Pritchard, because he's one of the boys that jumps in Discord with us. All of our sponsors for Platinum. GSRC and you boys for putting this on every week, obviously. And the boys in Race Control, because I've got a very thankless job.
Yeah, indeed they do. They had a bit to adjudicate on tonight as well, there's no doubt about that. Now, Tommy Cole just saying, meanwhile, if I can race next season more than once, I'm going to be the only Audi in the split. Yes, that's exactly right. We're wondering if that was chosen purely because of love for the Audi or purely because you weren't racing, so you've just answered that question, Tommy. Thank you, appreciate that. And overall, he was happy with the Bronze boys tonight, despite the little bits of and pieces of adjudication that he had to go and do. So well done to Tommy at Race Control. Well done to you as well, Colin Bennett. Thanks for stopping on by, mate. At least someone from the top 3 was willing to grace us with their presence, mate. We appreciate that, and we'll look forward to catching up with you hopefully somewhere between now and the end of the season. That was the last broadcast race for you guys between now and the end of the campaign. So if we don't see you between now and the start of the new term, we'll definitely catch up in term 4, mate. Thank you.
Cheers, Zach. Have a good night, guys.
Meanwhile, that leaves just you, Mr. McIntyre, last man standing. Now, so last minute decision to jump in the open wheeler. See, this is the thing, right? Spontaneous decisions like that can do one or two things. They can turn out to be a wonderful experience, or they can bite you on the backside. It certainly did the latter.
Yes, sir. Yes, it did. Look, the spontaneous thing to jump into the V's, I think, last week was pretty fun. Given that you know what happened last time, but it was still good. It was good to be competitive. But not in the Formula 3.5s. That's a little bit of a different story on that one. Look, it was pretty fun. But I feel like all the racing has really done a number on my wheel. I definitely can sympathise with Harrison. My wheel turned off on the last lap of my race, and my wheel's still saying I'm in 4th gear, even though the simulation hasn't been opened for a good half an hour. So being able to keep 4th in my split, not being able to change in and out of 4th gear, you got to deal with these things. It's like an actual mechanical failure in real life, I guess. So,
absolutely right. I've been saying it for years that tech issues here are the SimWorld's real-world equivalent of a mechanical. So, to draw the comparison as to how frustrating and mind-blowing they can be, makes you want to tear your friggin' hair out. And that moment there for Kevin Wakefield would have also had him tearing his hair out as well. But no, it's one of those things, isn't it? Like I can't begin to describe to people without using comparisons one to the other. If you're watching a virtual affair like this and a sim race, we can say, yes, it looks real. Yes, it sounds real. Yes, the commentary is not AI. Although at some point, I'm sure iRacing will introduce AI commentary into the mix. I'm sure they'll be working on that in the background and amongst all the plethora of other things that they're doing at the moment. But yes, technical issues are the most frustrating because they are the technical equivalent of a mechanical. I mean, yes, in real world motorsport, you can have both mechanical and technical issues these days, but it's the best comparison I can draw. And and I don't know how you feel about it, Jacob, but for me, when it's a circumstance, an external factor, it's something that's outside of your control. Like for me, they're the things that frustrate me more than any. I don't care what anybody says or throws at me as far as reasons or rationale or examples are concerned. The stuff you can't control is the stuff that drives you up the wall the most.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Look, I'd rather be, in a racing incident than my wheel turn off. 100%. Happened last week too at Indy. I was competitive. I was giving hell to the WRM boys. I feel like I've been pretty, fairly competing with those guys all season. Then we have these tech issues or, something like Adelaide happens where, we think it's okay, it just racing incidents, right? So yeah, I would much rather get into something like that than have a tech issue and that ruin my race, because that's, like you were saying, way more frustrating than, something that's happened during the race that you can control. I feel like every accident you have at least 10% of blame, no matter what it is.
And that's the thing as well. You're completely helpless. So, I mean, for me, there was an instance earlier in the year where the power went out, Australia Day, and I'm sitting here broadcasting knowing full well that I'm only going to get halfway through. Cannot tell you how frustrating it was then to sit in the pitch black for the next 4 hours knowing that Yeaman had to pick up the freight for me, a broadcast GT3 that night. Talk to me about, we just heard Colin Bennett talk about sometimes liking to be behind the wheel, liking to pilot the Lambo, and there's been a few more of them around. You are one of those people at the moment. Mixed bag of results for you so far this season, but the last couple of weeks have resulted in a second, a third and a fourth along the way, and even unfortunately a 17th at the Indy Road course, as you say, with those technical issues you've just mentioned. The championship probably a long shot, but what can you salvage across the course of the next couple of weeks with that fourth place tonight?
I'm just gonna dig deep and hit what's the next track? The next track's in Austria, isn't it?
Austria, Red Bull Ring. Yep.
Yeah, I reckon I'll be pretty competitive there. The Lambo doesn't seem to have. I feel like I get beat on the straights by the Ferrari sometimes. Like even at Indy, the WRM cars, they're racing Ferrari from memory. they just pull away. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Maybe I'm running too much wing or something. I feel like I should be pretty competitive at Red Bull Ring though. But you know, I'm looking forward to that one. Bathurst, I'll win, hands down. You've had it here first. I'll win it.
He's very quietly, smugly confident about that one, ladies and gentlemen. Watch this space. We're going to check back with you in 2 weeks and see if that comes to fruition. That is for certain. For the benefit of those of you tuning in at home, you are in the silver split. We are going to see you on broadcast. First up next week with the sprint race at the Red Bull Ring. The feature will be from the gold split. The grand finale will be from the platinum split. Why are you so confident with Bathurst? Is it because the Lambo, or is it because of the driver liking the circuit so much?
So we heard earlier, I believe it might have been Colin or someone else, say that there's a certain type of people who just spend hours and hours at Bathurst. I am one of those people.
There we go. Yep, there's always one in every crowd.
Yeah, unfortunately. No, I find it's a really, really calm track. We did the Bathurst 12-hour, did 2 splits of it just for fun. One with the Mustang and the other with the, what was it? The BMW. Yeah, look, I'm pretty much with the consensus. I'm going to swap to the Beamer next season. I've been talking about it with my coach. The mid-engine's fun, and it's pretty strong most places, but I feel like it's been quietly nerfed a little bit. It was strong at Spa, weak at Le Mans, so yeah, it is what it is.
As far as getting well acquainted with Bathurst is concerned, thank Christ you're only having to go there in the virtual world at the moment. Have you seen the nightmare that it is to get there in the real world?
I have not. No. Please tell me.
There's part of the Great Western Highway completely out of action, so you know that cocks a few people around that take that route going from Sydney up towards the Blue Mountains. Today, the alternate route, the Bells line of road, was closed because they had a bloody truck crash on that line of road. So at the moment, Bathurst is doing its level best to be cut off from the world as we know it, by way of government not coming to the table with being in too much of a hurry to fix the Great Western Highway. And secondly, yes, when the alternate route closes off, oh God, I shudder to think what it's going to be like trying to get out there on the October long weekend, let alone the weekend after that. And I say that because I'm actually in Orange on the October long weekend and dreading the trip home as we speak. And I'm not someone that enjoys car trips. I'm one of those people. I want to be efficient in my travel. I want to get from A to B as cleanly, safely and efficiently as possible. I have no interest in sitting in logjam congestion all day. I like better things to do with our time than that. So yes, at the moment, we're very lucky that we have access to Bathurst in a virtual capacity, because if they have to shut that road off one too many times, they might just have to run a certain motor race on the second weekend of October as an iRacing one. Set everything up for 5 or for 4 days or whatever it is. What's on the bill there? Touring Car Masters, yeah. I'm not sure if iRacing can look after them. Toyota Ready 6s, yes. Porsches, yes. Dev 2, Super 2, yes. So they could do it. Let's hope they come up with a quick fix to the ongoing debacle that is the Great Western Highway, however. So yes, that's in short a little bit of a brief of what's going on there. Speaking of what's going on, with regards to you, nice to be able to string some consistent results together, but it hasn't been a straightforward season. Hopefully technical issues are something that you'll be able to sort out between now and next week, and they won't plague you anymore. What about, are we going to see you pop up elsewhere and have a steer of something else as this week goes on, or are you just focused on GT3 for the moment? What else is on the agenda?
Surprisingly, my main series at the moment is P-Cup. Me and a teammate are leading the team's championship at the moment in P-Cup, so we're really smashing it.
And that, of course, continues this week at the Imola circuit in Italy, mate. And another round of sprint racing. How are you feeling about that?
I'm feeling really good. Imola is one of my strongest tracks on the server. So yeah, Imola, Bathurst, Nürburgring, they're my really, really strong tracks. So I'm really looking forward to Imola. So I might have to kick my teammate up the backside and you know, see if we can get a strong finish in the opens.
All right, very nicely done. I've just got something coming through here from Adam Lavis at this point. Let me have a look here. Hang on. I'm just loading this now, Adam, and I've got Zuno in my messages as well. So this is interesting. I've got messages coming from Discord. I've got messages coming from broadcast chat. I've got messages coming from the broadcast coordinator. Let me have a look at this. Me looking for rain at Suzuka, says Joel and Hanson. Any minute now? Yeah, no, there was none. Absolutely none. No one got any. Most anticlimactic thing since Virginia earlier in the year. Remember that, Adam? VIR, and they had and we were told it was absolutely going to lash down, piss down, you know what? It was going to be biblical proportions, Noah's Ark, and we got nothing. Same again tonight.
Well, that's the issue with weather forecast. It's a percentage game, and with only a 30% and dropping leading into the race, looks like it was on the lower side.
They'd be mug punters, wouldn't they? Like the bookies would be lining them up from afar, and thinking, this will be easy money for us because they're not very good forecasters, and they're supposed to be professionals. They'd be lining them up and saying, righto, you're probably mug punters as well. Here, spend your hard-earned with us. Have an absolute field day. My goodness. I was going to say, Jacob, just to finish with you, mate. I mean, obviously, I'm just having a look at a couple of the points tables being updated at the moment. Adam Lavis will let me know when we're good to go with those. What are you eyeing off as far as Term 4 is concerned? Is it more of the same, GT3 and Porsche?
Yeah, it's about the same. The front end is very chattery, so that'll be something to think about. Kind of in the middle of the race. Look, I'm not a stranger to the Pork GT3. I run it a lot in my kind of officials and whatever else. It's just for some reason. Maybe I lacked the brain cells at the time, but I chose the Lambo. But yeah, I'm pretty confident in the Porsche. So we'll see if it should translate. It's translated pretty well so far. This whole season, kind of in P Cup, started off as an arrive and drive to collect. I noticed that the tracks I didn't own, so I kind of waited until the very last minute to actually buy the track. Same with Interlagos. Last week as well, I waited until almost the end of qualifying before I bought the track. Did the same with Fuji. So it's gonna be fun. I didn't realize we were actually leading until my teammate kind of pulled me aside 2 weeks ago and was just like, "Hey man, we might actually have to start practicing because we want to send I think you still get a plaque or something for the team championship. We want to send it to the team boss. He's in Hawaii, so it should be good fun."
Fair enough. I was going to say, it's interesting too. We get to this point of the term, we start viewing or casting our eyes forward towards Term 4. We start looking at, the finish line in sight of Term 3. It won't take long for that to all come and go. Term 3 ends Friday, September 11, GSRC Indy 500. Then we refire back into life on Monday, September 28 for the final 10 weeks of action for this season. Now, no more arrive and drive in Formula Renault 3.5, I take it, after tonight?
Oh, I don't know. It depends on the horizon. If I do, it'll be at the back of the grid. I won't Yuki Tsunoda him. Yeah, look. I was speaking about the weather in Suzuka, a teammate and I were having a look at it. We noticed that the rain stopped like 2 hours before, and I don't know if it's a GSRC thing, but all the tracks seem to be at like blistering temperatures. I don't know if that's for better racing or something.
Well, I was going to say it's part date and time. I would imagine
it's because the Northern Hemisphere is currently in summer. So
there you go.
It's the tracks are set to today's date. Just over there in summertime.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Maybe the other leagues just run it cooler. I don't know why. I believe this is great. It's been great for racing, great for tyre management. I definitely feel like my endurance kind of background has helped, especially in this race. I didn't take any tyres this race and was still competitive timing. where I noticed a lot of my competitors were taking tyres. So it was it was great. I think the track kind of cooked all the water off of it.
It was certainly an interesting night. Grip was a big talking point. Tyre wear was a talking point. Grip was a talking point right throughout. But yeah, that's a fair point, because once the water comes through and washes everything away, it takes a while for everything to get back to some form of normal. You talk about going out there on a clean circuit. It takes a while to wear in the groove of the race line, put the rubber down on the circuit, and then of course the marbles on the inside and outside, the edges of the circuit, oh geez, avoid them like the plague. Great to have you in here for chat, mate. Who would you like to thank before we let you go? I'm just looking at the clock, 10:34. It's an earlier mark than what I was thinking we'd hit tonight, but not too many people keen to have a chat. Hopefully you'll come back and have a chat with us more often though, and thanks for being a good sport about the Coda stuff. Who would you like to thank?
I'd like to thank my sponsors, Aceless, Kennard's Hire, Sim Racing Brotherhood, all the people from DWR, Sim Coach Setups, Edge Overlays. They've been a pretty big sponsor of DWR, so I'd like to thank them. I appreciate you having me in here. Appreciate you talking to me, even though I only came fourth on my split. I feel like I got robbed of third a little bit with the tech issues. But it is what it is. I appreciate you commentating and staying up this late to assist all of us, so I appreciate it. Thank you.
I do my best work after dark, don't worry about that. Hey, very nicely done, and thanks for explaining exactly what's been going on, because the spate of tech issues we've had at the moment, as I say, it's getting the better of me. It's starting to really do my head in. I have nothing but complete sympathy for you blokes. I probably would have had to have gone and started shopping for a new sim rig already, because I probably would have thrown everything to the wolves and to the bitumen on the road outside the house. I don't like technical issues. I don't handle them very, very well. So you blokes continually signing up for this, knowing that that's the sort of torture and torment and punishment you could be in for. You're better than me. There's no doubt about that. Go and enjoy some sleep, mate. We'll keep an eye out for you on the Porsches on Thursday.
No worries. Cheers, mate. You too. Peace.
From Jacob McIntyre to Adam Lavis, how are we going with, knowing that everything's provisional, how are we going with championship points, please? Yeah, hang on. All right. Well, while you do that, let me say some thank yous. Shut up, David Kirby. No, I do not like summer up here. I've made that very clear. I had someone on the phone the other day who knows Brisbane very well, and they said, what have you got against it? And I'm like, well, Queensland for me, it's like the slow kid at the back of the classroom, right? Or the front of the classroom. Wherever the slow kid resides in your classroom, we all had one in school. But the problem is with Queensland, it is their fault. It was never the slow kid's fault. They couldn't help it, but it is Queensland's fault. It is Queensland's fault every day of the week. Well done to Suave Harvey. Podium and silver and bronze split for 555 Sim Sport tonight. Yes, no, they've done very, very well. Luke Wegener, a good result. And unlucky there on the final lap getting done by Colin Bennett, but a really good drive from all three of them. Actually, at the top end of town, it was Martin Davis that got the job done here in the bronze split. Jury's out on that one, Dave. Jury's out on that one. I'm not sure what you could define as God's country when it's absolutely boiling like you're in a sauna every day of the week for 6 months, 1 minute, and then lashing down to the point where you're looking for Noah and his Ark the next. I don't get the fascination around that. So Kirby's going to keep me going whilst Adam gets the points ready to go on the screen. We might thank the people at Waste Options, Trophy AI, merch.tgsrci.com and Flash Graphics, and also Disruptive Labs for their ongoing support of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. In the meantime, here we are, season 26, and it is going gangbusters. Now, want to remind you as well that if you want to get involved in anything that we do here, sign up as a member and get out there in the thick of the action. Race.tgsrci.com is where you go for all the relevant information, the who, what, when, where, why and how of this great club. And of course, if you want to get involved as, either a race control operator, Someone behind the scenes want to come in and do some production for us with the broadcast, want to do some talking, some commentary, feel free to reach out. Race.GSRC.inc is where you go for all that information. And of course, if you want to get some hands on some merch, well, we'll show you that in just a moment. But you know the website. You've been here with us for long enough now. You know where to go. People tell me where to go all the time. Richard Mitchum continues to lead, but have a look at that. Just have a look at that. 2 points, top 3. Get out of here. Woo, boy, next 2 weeks, everything to play for in Waste Options Platinum GT3. Have a look at that. 3 different manufacturers, 5 different manufacturers in the top 5. We're probably putting a line almost through Philip Worley and Nick Wood's chances at this point. Mitchum, Cubis, Denbrinker on the back foot with those technical issues tonight. And, yeah, you feel for him. As I said, nothing worse. Not a single thing you can do about them. And all you want to do is tear your hair out and scream blue murder. And now the net result is that he's lost a spot in the points race. Mitchum and Cubis have both moved up a piece. Have a look at that. My goodness. A tie for second. They're 2 points off the leader. Every one of those 3 men has a chance. Mitchum at the second title. Cubis and Denbrinker at the first. When we go racing at the Red Bull Ring next week and Mount Panorama the week after that, I'm so excited for that championship finale for those guys. Philip Worley, Nick Wood, then Michael Whiting, Reece Keane, Sam Blacklock, Leo Dreyer and Tim Miles, the top 10. Top 5, remember. Top 10 includes 5 different manufacturers. Top 5 includes 5 different manufacturers. There are just double-ups through the rest of the top 10. 2 Fords, 1 Bimmer, 1 Chev, 3 Ferraris, 3 McLarens. And the margin is 199 points from 1st to 10th. Oh boy. Luke Page just outside in 11th. Only 4 points out of the top 10 at the moment. Kirby holds sway. And look at that, it's only 3 points. 3 points Kirby to Piper. Kirby goes to the top. Goes over the top of the 2 McLarens tonight. Look at that. Kirby to the top of the summit. 586 plays. Daniel Piper 583 and 564 for Paul Wood. Pianazzola's 4th. Miller is 5th. Coates and Schmidtke 6th and 7th. That's what I was going to say to McIntyre. If you ever want to pick somebody's brain about the ins and outs of the Lambo around these platforms, have a chat to Schmitty. One of their most loyal servants on the platforms of the GSRC throughout the course of time in Waste Options GT3. Pick his brain about what's good and what's bad about the Lambo. Not too many people know them better than Matty Schmidtke, right, Adam?
Indeed, but it looks like 22nd probably is tonight. Probably wasn't the best example of Lambo dominance.
Yes. Oh, hang on. I've just had an email come through at 20 minutes to 11 on a Monday night about work. I'll get to that as soon as we get off the line. David Kirby 586, Daniel Piper 583, Paul Wood 564, Jordan Pianazzola 519, Jacob Miller 496. Brad Coates 486, Matt Schmidtke 482. Yeah, any other day of the week, just let the dust settle on this. Let him vent his grievances. Let him calm back down, and then have a chat to him about the Lambo. I'm sure he'd be more than willing to divulge some information for you. Sean Benici and Richard King make up the top 10. Now, it's a tighter race here at the moment, 142 points between 1st and 10th. And even more than that, the top 5 is covered by 90. And from 6th through 10th, it's only a 10-point gap, 5th to 6th. But it's only 52 points from 5th back to 10th. And 42 points from 6th to 10th. So that's a really tight points race. I expect a bit of movement in that. And you saw a bit tonight, as you can see there. +2 for Miller and Coates, -3 for Azzopardi, and +2 for Kirby. I expect a bit of movement within that top 10 between now and the end of Mount Panorama Bathurst. What have we got? 5 McLarens, 2 Lambos, a Chev and Audi, and a Ford in the top 10. Nice to see some different manufacturers popping up, particularly Lambo and Audi. That is pleasing. Silver. Oh, McLaren lockout of the podium at the moment, and it's, 51 points covers the top three. McDonald 579, Stephen Gallacher 546, Mitchell Buckman 528, Joel Hansen 517, John Akers 514, so too Scott Smith and Todd Suter 513. Get out of here, 4 of them. Hansen, Akers, Smith, Suter, 4 through 7th, 4 points. And then not much better when you go back to De Bruin, 3 points to Heaney, and Weggett only another 9 away. So 4th and Liam Amos. Are you kidding me? That's 4th through 11th, covered by 21 points. Holy Christ. Jesus, have we ever had it that tight in a points race this late in the season in a GT3 split? I mean, that's not for the major placings. That's documented. But take Mitchell Buckman into consideration there on 5 to 8, right? And go back to Liam Amos on 4, 9, 6. So positions 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 9 drivers, 32 points. Far out, that's ridiculous. Wowee. Excellent stuff. So we actually have to include Amos in the top 11 here because it is a tie on points. Weggett and Amos. Thorns dropped 3 spots tonight. There are 4 Ferraris. There are 4 McLarens. There is a Ford. There is an Aston. And there is a Chev in the top 11 at the moment. Again, 5 different manufacturers in the mix. Where we were tonight was bronze. And it's actually all trumped up gold for Martin Davis. To the top of the summit he goes. And by 15 points. Biggest lead of anyone, really. Have a look at that. 15 over Liam O'Connor, who has 7 on JD Dent, the big loser in all of this tonight. Unfortunately, 15th, not good enough for him to retain the position at the top of the points table there. 542, Colin Bennett, 537, Luke Vegeta, 529, and Troy Mortensen, 528, Tim Watson, 512, Mitch Cherry, 505, 477 for Dale Sharp, and Tristan Koch, 460 points. Greg Colgan just outside. So there's, I'm just having a look. 4 different manufacturers in the top 4. There's also McLaren in the top 10 as well. So 1, 2, 3 Fords, 2 McLarens, 2 Porsches, 2 Bimmers and a Ferrari. Have I got that right? 3 Fords, 2 Porsches, 2 McLarens, 2 Bimmers and a Ferrari in the top 10. And top 10 covered by 104 points. Top 6 by 36. And I say that because it's top 5, 35, and only 1 back to Troy Mortensen. And 7 points second to third, 5 points third to fourth, 8 points fourth to fifth. Single digit figures right across the board there. Exciting prospect the last couple of weeks of the GT3 series. The Wild Ride boys now, hang on, they're from Silver. The Silver Split boys are on top. Alan McDonald, Thorn Weggett, 1,075. The DPR Racing boys, Philip Worley, Reece Keane, 1,070. And the Bronze Split leaders, Colin Bennett, Troy Mortensen, 1,065 at the moment, the top 3 splits.
Even the team thinks close.
I know, it's ridiculous. And 1,052 for Wild Ride, Harry Dan Brinker and Jonas Dagan. But you've got to go back to 5th and 6th. 962 and 932 to find the best of the gold split runners at the moment, and they are only not too far away. 962 is 113, and add 30 onto that, so 143 points back. David Kirby and Michael Angus, and only 30 between those two as far as the team bragging rights within the split is concerned as well. All fascinating stuff. Final thoughts from you, mate? Interesting night.
Yeah, this is good racing. It's one of those ones like. Sometimes in the past we've been a bit worried doing the lower split because they're normally a little bit more tamed, which entertainment value can be a little bit harder for you, but always put on a good show tonight. Plenty of battles the whole night, so maybe a little lull for a lap or two around the pit stops, but it quickly punched back up again, and big finish there for Colin to put a move at the end of the race to get you off your feet, so good night.
Indeed it was. Now, memo to my mates in Canberra. I've just had that email come through from the Canberra Kart Racing Club. I'm coming your way November 13, 14 and 15 at this stage, all being fair and equal, all going to plan. November 14-15. I've just received confirmation that I'm going to Canberra. So you know how I was saying I'm in Cessnock for weeks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6? It's now 7 as well for this next final term of the season. I was looking to get back to the slow and steady state early November, around about Melbourne Cup time, but with work keeping me down Cessnock way until mid-November, I think we might just put a full stop on this year and just relocate there and spend 3 months there and reset again and come back to what will be the summer of, where will we be up to? It'll be the summer of 19-14-15 when I return after Christmas. I think that's probably the best way to go about it. What's the point of coming up here on November 17 or 18 to turn around and go back on December 5? I'm struggling to see the point at this particular point in time. So that's some breaking news for those of you tuning in right around Australia. Right, we're out of here. Waste Options, a big thank you to them. Disruptive Labs, merch.tgsrci.com, Trophy AI and Flash Graphics. Huge thanks to all of them for their efforts as per usual on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club and the support that they've given us throughout the course of this term and many other terms before that, and many other seasons as well on the platforms of the GSRC. Looking ahead for you, we didn't have anything to go around the grounds with tonight. That'll change next week because the US Open will be in full swing and we're very excited about that. And of course the footy finals won't be far away either. Committee's choice tomorrow night, the SCCA Super Spec Racer Ford from Adelaide. Yep, the Parklands. It will next year host MotoGP maybe. There's some backlash, there's some pushback on that at the moment. Watch this space. Question marks all over the place, but they're confident that they'll do it. 7 p.m. tomorrow night for 3 sprint races there from the streets of Adelaide. That's when the server opens, at least Australian Eastern Standard Time. Suzuka will be the next stop for the BMW M Sport Cup. So we leave here tonight and we start back up here on Wednesday night when we are back with you. Still no confirmation whether or not we're going to have a broadcast for that one yet. Andrew Neil's away this week. Let's just put that out there. Neely's away. So watch this space, and I may have to coordinate with you, Mr. Lavis, and if needs be, we'll come in and do a replay catch-up at some point. The reason for it, well, obviously with Neely being away, that's one thing. That puts a spanner in the mix. But secondly, Porsche Pro Invitational Round 8 from Phillip Island is on Wednesday night as well. I'll be over there commentating that for SimSpeed and the Esports Network and also the Australian Sim Racing Group alongside Jake Sperry. And as a result of that, we know that Jordan Pianazola's ready and willing to commentate the BMWs. But if there's a director in the house to produce the broadcast for him, great. If not, watch this space. We'll get a replay to you between now and next Wednesday. The supercars will follow again. Question mark on that for the same reasons I've just given. The Bend International, the Venue 2 sprint races, 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. Thursday night, just cancel all your plans, right? You don't want to be anywhere else but here. Thursday night, purely for the main course, and the Porsches will just be the icing on the cake. That'll be your dessert. From Imola, sprint racing there, open split into pro split or elite split. That'll be Thursday night, 8:45. Preceding that, the main course of Thursday night motorsport, as it has been all season, as it was all last term as well. Disruptive Labs Formula V, Willow Springs International, 3 sprint races, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. It delivered some of the best racing we've ever seen in Formula V last term. There were 8 of them fighting for the lead at one point. It'll be no different this Thursday night. I expect Formula V there in droves, and I want to see a full grid on Thursday night, 7:30 Eastern. We cannot wait for that. Matt Schmidtke with me for it. Friday night, Joe Baldwin and I with you. Trucker and I were looking forward to this. Oh boy. GT1. First up, they're back to the United Kingdom, to Snetterton. Onto the 300 course. 40 minutes the journey there. Again, Trucker's confident that we'll go 7 from 7, but there's still a question mark over it until we get confirmation from him on the day. Then, for the second time this season, we go oval racing on a Friday night, and we do it with the Milwaukee Mile and the 8th round of the Disruptive Labs Road to Indy Series. 8:45, 135 laps. Hope you can join us for that. 40 minutes the journey for the GT1s, and that's at 7:30, should we be able to get it live to you. Saturday night, Mountain Men wheel spin Friday night to determine the car of choice for the 32-lap expedition around Mount Panorama, Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. And then, of course, next Monday night, penultimate week of the term. And the last night of August, the last night of winter. What a way to do it. GT3 gold and silver action for you. Silver entree, gold main course. That is, of course, the fourth and final sprint round of the season. That is coming to you from the Red Bull Ring in Austria. That is 8:30 Eastern. Then on to the Hungaro Ring. 30 minutes to journey there, 7:30 Eastern. And that is going to be an absolute beauty. And that will be Johnny Banach versus Alex Tsitsikas versus etc. and so forth for title honours there, or at least bragging rights and favouritism going into the grand finale at the Suzuka circuit the week after. So this was the first of 3 trips to Suzuka in the last 4 weeks of the term. Not bad. We get a fair bit of Suzuka in the back part of the season. Hungaro Ring, Red Bull Ring, European double. Next Monday night, 2 completely different Grand Prix circuits. The Red Bull Ring should throw up some good racing. It'll be interesting to see what the Formula 3.5s deliver at the Hungaro Ring. Can be a little bit of a goat track, especially up around the top back end of the circuit. But with 30 minutes and pit stops to play out, pit stops have been a point of conjecture over the last couple of weeks in that series, particularly incidents on pit entry. It'll be interesting to see what they bring to the table next Monday night, so I hope you can join us for that. Brilliant stuff. Well done to you, Adam Lavis. Well done to Dave Oliver. Well done to you at home. Thanks for hanging in there for the ride with us and coming along to enjoy the fun of the fair on a Monday night, GSRC style. Monday Night Motorsport done and dusted for night 1 of week 8 of term 3 of 2026. Well done to Martin Davis here. Porsche on top in GT3 bronze. Well done to the winners of the other 3 splits. Defining moments in this championship, and particularly promising that when we go and show you some of the action out of silver and gold next week, those titles are well and truly on the line. And of course, we've got a fascinating prospect awaiting us when we get to Mount Panorama for the Platinum Split Grand Finale in a couple of weeks. That promises to be a heck of a lot of fun. Now, I'm just having a look here before we go. Goes Prime Centre, we're not being watched. I think there's some interesting comments coming in with regards to some of the incidents that took place throughout the course of the hour of GT3 bronze. So therefore, we'll leave that to race control. All of what we just brought you is provisional, of course, until race control make their final adjudications. On behalf of the crew here, sincerely hope that you've enjoyed it. As I said, tantalising stuff. The way in which those 3 championships are hanging on a knife's edge at the moment. In fact, make it all 4. Make it all 5, because the 4 splits of GT3 are up for grabs. And then, of course, Formula Renault 3.5. As you can see, Alex Tsitsikas versus Johnny Banach, 1 point the margin there as well. So 1 point, 2 points, 3 points the margins in 3 different splits of Monday Night Motorsport. Whets the appetite for what's to go over the next 2 weeks, and just fuels the fire in the belly to entice us to be here to bring it all to you. On behalf of Adam Lavis and all of our crew, we sincerely hope that you've enjoyed Waste Options Monday Night Motorsport, and until we see you definitely on Thursday, hopefully Wednesday, enjoy the rest of your evening, everybody. I'm Zach Caven. Bye for now.